Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome in, welcome in. Today is actually a very, very special broadcast coming for you guys because I am not alone on this one. I'm not running solo. I'm not by myself. I stand with a very powerful army united. Uh, with enough the jokes aside, though, but I do have some special guests with me, and I'm very, very honored and very humbled that they took time out of their day to join up and just really just have a discussion on here. Right? We're not really focused on a specific topic, so this could go here, there, and everywhere. So the first person I'm going to bring in, you guys have seen us podcast together with the Scorpion Deathlock podcast, and if you're not subscribed to that, we're going to find you, we're going to RKO you and stun you to oblivion until you hit that subscribe button on that podcast. But let me bring them in. What's up, Mike? I caught you right when you
LA Night. Yeah. What's up? Welcome to today's podcast, or I'm knocking off my headset already. Podcast, or whatever you want to call it, I guess. Our tech stream today, open chat. Thank you for having me today, Tito. And yes, subscribe to the Scorpion Deathlock podcast. We are sitting at 22 subscribers and strong. So if we could hit 100, I would be happy.
That would be pretty awesome. And I'm glad that you were able to come in and hang out with me. We got one more guest. I haven't had him on here in a while, and I am very honored that he took time to join us today. You guys know him very, very well. What up, RJ?
How's it going, everyone?
Oh man, I'm glad to have you guys here today. It has. It's been a very, very long time. So we'll kind of go in the order of reverse. So I'll start with RJ, but if you just want to take a moment just to let everybody know what you've been up to and what's going on with your channel, man.
To be on the spot like that.
Of course.
Things have been a little bit slow on the channel lately. Trying to get some things sorted out and trying to start up new ideas, new types of reviews, maybe. Because things are kind of fell off a lot, Tech's kind of on the decline as far as, I wouldn't say decline, but it's kind of getting a little bit boring, it's a little stale right now, middle of the year like this.
Yep.
But yeah, hopefully it's been really, it's been a lot of things going on, kind of preventing me from uploading like I want to upload, and because maybe there's no shortage in uploads that I could be doing right now, every day actually. Motivation, it's not there right now, so get that back and we'll be all
right. Well, I mean, that is one of the things that I will actually talk about a little bit later. It's just like, YouTube and all that stuff, what we kind of deal with as creators. We'll kind of get into that a little bit later on. All right, let's pass it to B-Tech himself, man. Mike, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm doing pretty good. As far as the YouTube stuff goes, basically, you guys know, for those of you who follow, I've been kind of working on another channel besides the B-Tech channel, right? So I do some side hustle work, aka gig work. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's people that go out and try to make extra money doing apps like Uber Eats, right, or DoorDash, stuff like that. So I've been trying to get that channel to grow. I actually already hit over 1,000 subscribers on that channel, luckily. And
Nice.
I was accepted into the YouTube Partner Program, although I am still short on the watch hours for it to be fully monetized. But I can get like super chats if I do like live streams and stuff like that. So that's cool. As far as the B-Tech channel goes, for a little bit, going back a couple months back to like July, maybe late June, I was starting to do more like non-phone related stuff. If you guys paid attention to the channel, I was doing like older video game console, videos like the Nintendo GameCube or like the Nintendo DS's, stuff like that. I bought a few like old Xboxes off Goodwill, right? Just to see if I can get them to work or fix them, etc. like that. So I was kind of playing around with that. Some of the videos did good. Some of them were like, a couple hundred views. So nothing too crazy. I haven't really been messing around with that too much since my vacation back in July, though, because again, money has been tight. And I know that's something that we were talking about prior to the chat, right? The economy and money. But As far as the channel continuing, I'm still waiting back to see if we're gonna get anything from Team Pixel over here, right? So that's definitely something that I'm getting emails, but I'm not getting emails saying, hey, we're gonna send a surprise gift. So and CV Tech can kind of like, I guess, I know.
Anticipation.
Yeah, so like a couple days back, they emailed us saying to share that video with like the Pixel and the iPhone. I don't know if you guys saw that on social media recently on the X, and so they were saying, oh, like, yeah, share this on your timelines or whatever. So I did that, but
Oops.
I'm like I think I'm still part of Team Pixel because they're sending me the emails. So I'm hoping that, keeping my fingers crossed, that when the new 8 or 8 Pro comes out, that at least we are acknowledged about it. If nothing comes in, right, again with the Pixel 7a and the Pixel Tab and whatever device came out, I think it was the 7a, the Tab, and the Fold. None of us heard anything about that. It was only a select few YouTubers that actually were able to get and play with the devices. So, and I can understand that, right? The Fold is like a $2,000 phone. The Tab is a $500 tablet. Even the 7a is $500. So the items are getting more expensive, but they're also getting better. So I think that's what's hiking up the price range as well. So, but other than that, aside from that, just working my day job. I bought a PS5 as well. I don't know if you guys saw that unboxing or not. So I've been kind of playing my PS5 when I have downtime. I still have my Xbox, you know what I mean? But I've been playing my PS5. I think RJ over here is more of a Xbox Live, and I have Xbox Live still. I want to play Starfield when it comes out. I
got that game downloaded.
Yeah, I need to get on Game Pass and see if I can.
Game Pass for the win, man! Free, don't have to pay.
it's free, yeah, but you're still paying $16-17 a month, and just so you guys know, they went up on the price. Yeah, no, they went up on the price for Game Pass in general.
What is it now?
It's $17.
God.
Yeah, I know. It's not $15 anymore. I don't know if you checked your email a while back.
I hadn't.
Yeah, so check your billing if you haven't checked already. They went up.
Yeah, so again, you guys can take time out of your day to hang out, so that's awesome. And actually, it's funny you guys brought up the whole Team Pixel thing. I'm actually going to get into that from the gate, just because I have questions. And first, let me just kind of clarify something to people out there. Like when I posted those pictures of the watch band I got, I had people that were like literally, in that possibility that I was brought in the Team Pixel partnership. I don't know that I'm in. I wouldn't say that I am in because I didn't get anything that said that I'm officially in. I mean, they sent me the watch band. It got lost by FedEx. They sent me another one, and they're like, "Hey, if you get both of them, just keep them." And like the only thing that like I got was just this little disclosure letter that they stuck in there. But other than that, I mean, nothing's really been said that if I am even part of it. And if I'm not part of it, it's okay. You know what I mean? But that was something I was going to lead out with the gate. Team Pixel, both you guys are in Team Pixel partnership. And this year, see, I told you, my dogs do it too. Like,
yeah.
I was over here asleep.
So like this year, the Fold didn't come to every member in the partnership program. The tablet didn't come to every member, and shockingly, the 7A didn't get sent out to every member. And
that was shocking.
That was very shocking because I was thinking as a fan of your guys' channel, I was like, oh, I'll get to see these things. I'll just go to their channel and look at it. And then none of you were posting videos, and I'm like, wait, what the hell's going on? Why aren't you guys getting these things? Like I literally. Go ahead.
Yeah, because last year we got the 6A and the 7A. I mean the 7 Pro.
Yeah.
This year, like you said, a certain few got the Fold and the tablets, but I kind of wonder if maybe that was new members. I don't know, because I'm not sure how that works, but yeah.
That was tough. Like I was thinking that they were going to put this whole package together. I was thinking, well, 7A was coming out, the Fold was coming out not long after that, and so was the tablet. I was thinking maybe what they'll do is like, because they like to send you guys, like sometimes they send you those big giant boxes, and it just has like weird stuff in. And I thought they would do that again and have the 7A, the tablet, the Pixel tablet, and the Pixel Fold in there for you guys to review.
Wild.
Like, and
I would have loved that. Honestly.
yeah, no one had it. I even sneezed on it, and I was like, "What is going on?"
I think things are changing a little bit. Honestly, I mean, I can't say for sure because I mean, I don't know any more than anybody else does. I mean, as far as I know, you know what I'm saying. I mean, I've been part of Team Pixel since the 3A series came out. You know, I got the 3A XL. You know, and every device since then except for the 5A, and I didn't get the 5A because I missed the email cutoff date by accident. And I emailed them. I was like, I did not see the email. It was in spam for some reason, and when I checked it, the cutoff date was like a day or two after the cutoff, and I was like, I emailed them, but yeah, nothing they could do by then. So I was like, that's my own fault.
Yeah. So same. Well, for me, yeah. I think it was the 5A also, and good thing Latrell messaged me about it because he's like, hey, check your spam folder because the email went to spam on his. So I checked it, and sure enough, I was able to get in there before I missed the deadline. Because when they start, I guess, reaching out to you, Tito, of course, like I don't really remember exactly how it went down. Like, people nominate you to get into Team Pixel. They send you an email. I don't remember exactly what the email said. I don't remember if I had to fill out anything either. I just remember them saying like, oh, like fill this out so that we can send you a surprise. So that was when I believe the Pixel 5A was coming out. So I filled it out, and then like literally like whenever the 5A came out, it was under embargo at the time, I believe. For that, so I was, we got the device before it actually came out, so we were able to play with it, or at least I was. I don't know if some other YouTubers got it later than others, right? But I guess for the people that filled it out before embargo, you were able to get it. I think they gave you the option. I think they said if you want to wait until the release date, we'll send it to you on release date. But I don't remember seeing anything specific saying like, oh, about that. I remember them inviting us to a few like Zoom calls. I don't know if you remember that, CV, or not. The Zoom call meetings on that.
It was kind of like a week or two after, and then they would like want everybody to chime in with questions about them, and then they finally would release it or whatever, and or show on Twitter or show pictures, or I don't know. I can't remember now. It's been a while since I've been in one of them, but whenever I got when I got my email from Team Pixel, I was very skeptical because, I was like, okay, because I mean, I honestly never dealt with any Pixels before then, any Nexus devices before then, nothing from Google before then. And so I actually emailed somebody that I knew was a longer term member. I DM'd them on Twitter and I asked them about it and told them what all it said. And they was like, hey, sound like that you got in to Team Pixel. And I was like, okay then, wow. And I was like, it's unexpected, because I was like, I don't know why they want, me to be in, nothing like this, but.
Okay, so now that we're going back, it says I'm looking at. I think I saved the email, guys. And
print it
I'm
out
just
and
gonna
frame it.
No, I don't know if you want me to allow you to share this with you guys. I don't really care at this point, right? If you want me to share the screen,
want to, I mean,
or I could read it to you, whatever you guys want to do. I guess I'll just read it. So I remember saving it. So I got the email from, and again, I'm not going to give away the email, right? If you have the email, you know. And you know who the person is. Like, I'm not going to tell you who the person is, but they're saying, "Hi, Mike, I'm blank, and I'm the relationship manager with 1,000 heads."
Switch chargers in the bottom plastic drawer.
Because I want Tito to hear this, by the way.
Hold on, but I was talking to me real quick.
No. I'm holding. Don't worry.
It will charge your phone. It's Type C. Love you.
I should frame this.
That's my daughter.
Okay, no worries. So we're back. So let me start that over. I had just barely like read that first sentence. So I'm not gonna give the name, but I'm gonna just say what it says. So it says, "Hi Mike, I'm blank, and I'm the relationship manager with 1,000 Heads, the word of mouth agency working for Google and their Team Pixel community. We're growing our community of passionate tech enthusiasts, the talented people known as Team Pixel, who share their expertise, insights, and advice. We've been impressed by your content, and we would love to have you join the Team Pixel family. As a member of Team Pixel, you'll get a sneak peek of the new Google products and access to exclusive activities, and we'll keep you updated on a host of other opportunities that might interest you. So what's next? Let us know if you'd like to join us as part of Team Pixel. All we want for you is to go on creating great content, and when we can provide you with post-worthy opportunities, we ask you to tag us using Made by Google or hashtag Team Pixel, right? We also want to keep disclosures on the up and up, so please include gift from Google. Obviously, you already know that. If you talk about contents of the packages, right, especially if it's something that they sent to you, right? Google or Google products on social media, please let us know by, again, this specific day, and if you have any questions. So they emailed me, right? I responded saying like, yes, like I'm super interested. So he responded back. And then he sent me a form that I had to complete. So thank you for getting back to us. We're excited to work with you, and we look forward to providing you opportunities we think you'll love. Please fill out this form so we can officially welcome you to Team Pixel. So that's how I was greeted. You know, I guess that, and there's a little more, but pretty much that's the sum of it, right? You know, as far as that goes. So that again, I'm assuming that's how CV Tech also got in as well.
As far as I can remember, I mean, the 3 series, the 3A series came out what, in 2019, something like that. I think it was
a while back,
yeah.
And I mean, the 3A XL, when I got that phone, that was the first phone that I put my SIM card in and did not remove it for an entire year. And if anybody knows me, I change SIM cards continually, and the longest I would say right now is probably the longest I've had my main SIM card into one phone, and that's the OnePlus 11. You know, I've had that my main SIM card in that phone since I got it, because the OnePlus 11. If you never used it, oh my God, that phone it checks all the boxes for me. You know, I got other phones. You know, I mean, got the Pixel 7 right here. Still have my Pixel 7. You know. Got the 7 Pro, but I don't know the 7. I just like the 7. I guess it's a flat display. Are they going to have the flat display on the 8 Pro? Does anybody know?
Yeah,
I don't even know.
Yeah, they are.
I'm not sure.
That's going to be a major W in my personal opinion. I'm not sure if y'all like curved displays or not, but personally, me, I like a flat display.
Hold up your devices again, because this is kind of funny. So RJ's got the 7. He's got the 7A.
7 Pro. Do that. Do the tap to turn on the light. Can you guys do that?
Yeah, I got it set up on one of my phones, but not this one.
Yeah.
I actually bought this one because I had the 6, and you know the 6 was kind of plagued with problems with Android 12, which was a dumpster fire for a long time, and the 6 just I bought the 6. And then I traded it in, got like $400 for it, something like that, or $450 for it, and got the 7. And the 7, I love the 7. I don't know. I like the nice form factor. You know, I love it. And some people don't like this color, but this lemongrass color, it's like a throwback of like the 70s or something. I don't know. It's just that kind of color. It's just a wonky, weird color, but I like it. I had the 7A for a very brief time, and of course, in the unofficial, and the one I had was the unofficial Carolina Blue, which is what I called it.
The sea salt, whatever they call it, the sea salt.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's Tar Heel Blue. I mean, it's just Carolina Blue all the way.
I like that color. That's a nice color.
But you know, and they're going to have that same color in the 8 Pro, I think.
Yeah.
You know, but the odds of getting that color, if you do get it, is slim. But one can hope, I guess. But I don't think I'm probably going to trade in my 7 for an 8 like I did last year with a 6 to the 7.
Yeah.
Because I don't really see much of I don't see that much of a difference. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. But I guess it all depends on what they offer. Because honestly, a lot of phone makers like Samsung, even Pixel, they had some terrible, trade-in offers, and
Yeah.
this year.
I've noticed that.
So Samsung was one of the worst. They was horrible. But yeah, I really do believe that the flat screen on the 8 Pro, because I mean, ain't the 8 gonna have like a 6.1 inch screen, same size as the 7A?
Yeah, it's the A shrinking in size. Oh, the A, but the 8
but
is shrinking in
regular.
size. So it'll be, yeah.
I wonder how many will complain about that, because everybody wants these bigger display phones. And I can hear it now. Well, this phone's too small. Because I'm just gonna throw it out there because I mean it's true. Since
Throw it out there.
LG
There's
left,
no filter here.
so since LG left the scene, I mean, I don't want to include Motorola because Motorola is killing their own brand. My personal opinion, because they put out subpar phones 3 years ago were better than phones they have out now. It's supposed to be updates or upgrades. So Google is the punching bag. We all know that Google is the punching bag. A lot of the major big creators, they want to take the pixels and they want to compare them to a Samsung. They want to take the smallest pixel to cost $600 and put it next to a phone that costs double the price. And they want to say, well, this does this better. I'm like, yeah, get your hands out of their pockets and you won't be, you can give a real review. You know what I'm saying? That's where a lot of us Team Pixel members, we get a bad rap and say, oh, well, you're just saying bad good things because you're part of a group. That may be true for some, but I'm like, when you know other creators that are ginormous, 15, 20 million subscribers, and they have nothing negative about Samsung or Apple to say, and they're always comparing a Samsung with a Pixel or with this or with that. I'm like, get your head out of the sand. They're getting paid. You know what I'm saying? They're getting paid big bucks.
Yeah.
But they want to, of course, crap on the Team Pixel members. If you say anything or disagree with anybody, and what's so bad is the majority of people will watch those huge channels, and people that's never touched a phone, never touched a Pixel, never even looked at one, never seen one, and will never probably own one, has their opinions based on what somebody else said. And I'm like, you cannot judge anything. You cannot say crap about nothing unless you've actually held it, used it for yourself. There's been people that's trash that says, I own it, it was trash. I'm like, well, there is such thing as a defective model. I've had so many phones that were defective, and I've given bad reviews, and everybody's like, this is a great phone. What are you talking about? And come find out mine was just a defective product,
Right.
So, I mean, you can get a defective product in anything. I don't care if it costs $100 or costs $2,000. You can get a defective product in anything. So you just kind of, I mean, I would personally trust somebody with less subscribers that gets a hold of a product, whether it's sent to them or they buy it themselves, than somebody who doesn't say it outright, but is getting a good payday. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. That's why I gravitate towards to those, because I know they're going to give a more honest review. I mean, I'm not sitting there calling the bigger creators a liar. You know what I'm saying? And saying what they're saying is irrelevant. But whenever you want to nitpick every little thing, every little stupid thing that don't matter, and giving other things a pass, and I got something to say about that, but I'll wait on that for a little bit just so I won't be taking too much time. But it's kind of hard to trust what somebody says when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, Well, I mean, that I guess that's like that. You know, with YouTube, it's a wonderful world. You have different creators, so you can always watch different creators and then formulate your own opinion. At least that's how I tend to look at things. But two things I'm going to ask you guys. Well, one thing I'm going to ask you guys that has to do with like two parts, because you know the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro is coming, and I feel like that the 8 Pro is going to follow the 7 Pro and 6 Pro with that slightly curved display on that one. So it does. I haven't seen anything that really says it's going to be a flat display, but the 8 will be. It will be a little bit smaller, just as Google's shrinking this down. But I think the big things that's kind of punching with me with the Pixel 8, which is why like I really didn't have the want to grab it right away, but now I do. First one, and I dropped a video about it. I'm surprised that hardly anyone's talking about it, but it's the Pixel binary transparency, which I'll get into in a little bit what that is. And the fact that they're now saying that the Pixel 8, 8 Pro, and future Pixel devices are slated for 5 OS updates and not 3 anymore. They bumped it to 5. What do you guys think about that? Either one.
Okay.
Whoever wants to go first.
Well,
Paper, rock, scissors.
Right. No, I'll let CV go. I'll go first. It's all good.
go ahead if you want to. Go ahead. I got a lot to say.
That the whole binary thing, you'll have to explain to me, Tito, because I'm
not sure about that either.
But as far as the longevity of the OS updates, I think that's a good thing, right? Because I think they're trying to kind of, I guess, emulate or be on par with Apple when it comes to like the lifespan of the phone. Which, you know, I think they're trying to get that consumer that wants to keep the phone longer, especially because now, and like just using myself as an example, right? I don't purchase the newest iPhone anymore, right? I've had the iPhone 13 Pro for a little over 2 years already. And the phone still works fine. Battery life could be better, obviously, because I've had the phone for almost 2 years already. And I'm like, I could tell you I'm using this phone. My on-screen time is at least 4 hours out of the day, not just because I'm text messaging or, using social media, but I use it for my gig work also. So I'm constantly on my phone. And I don't use my other devices. I could use my 7 Pro if I wanted to do Uber Eats and whatnot, but I don't. I like using my iPhone. It just works better. Like, I hate to say it, right? I'm not trying to trash on Pixel or anything, but I'm just accustomed to using this specific device. So I think that is a good thing. And I don't know if Samsung does this as well, right? But I think that's a good thing for people that are getting into the Pixel program also, as far as owning the devices. So, I mean, I think it's just a positive deal for everybody. And it's a win-win. Again, that way you don't have to buy another phone every couple of years. Because at this point, no one is really replacing their new phones. I see people that are still using, iPhone 10s or, iPhone 11s, older models, iPhone 12s, which, again, iPhone 12 is how many years ago already? Like, exactly. So it's like, I mean, that's what's going on there. So hopefully that's a good thing for people that are getting into Team Pixel. Team Pixel, yeah.
What about you, RJ? What do you think about 5 years?
I'm kind of mixed on it. If you want to be, if I'm being completely honest, whenever it was always a Samsung Google thing. Well, Samsung's outdoing Google on their own software, giving more updates by 4 years and 5 years versus 3 years and 5 years. But we kind of all know how manufacturers are. After about 3 years, they start killing their phones. I've noticed it with Samsung. I noticed it with Apple back in the day, and that was even a complaint with Apple with them, making their phones slower, battery life being just abysmal after about 3 years of usage, even with like 90-some% capacity still left, and there's a lot of people out there talking about, they should offer 4 years, 5 years like Samsung, but a lot of them will upgrade every year or every 2 years and it really will not even get nowhere. I mean, even if they only offered 3 years, okay, let's just say the iPhone 8, they offered 3 years. It's going to come out with Android 14. It's going to go all the way to 17. well, you know that phone can be supported for at least 2 or 3 more years as far as the app compatibility. It's going to be, it's it's going to, and also with these security patches giving you 5 years, it's going to push that phone way out there. Now, 5 years, yeah, that's fine and dandy, but how good is that phone going to be in 5 years?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Right. That's a good question.
we know, and we know. I've had Samsungs that after a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, they begin to slow. I can tell it with my S22 Ultra already. It's just came out. It's oldest. I'm using it right now. It just came out last year. When this phone came out last year, it was the best thing since sliced spread. It had the stylus like the Note. It had the S series, and then as soon as the 23 came out, it got to be like, oh, the 8 Gen 1 was trash. It made the phone super hot. The battery wouldn't last. I'm like, a lot of this stuff wasn't even complaints whenever a phone released. Now it's got the 8 Gen 2, got a little bit better battery life. Does the phone run warm? Yes. Does it get super, super hot? I haven't noticed. Is the battery that great? It can be better, but it's not the worst one that I've ever used. It's just so many little nitpicky things, but I do know. But by the time this phone is like the S24, S25, this phone's going to be pure trash. I mean, as far as because I'm even noticing it now whenever they upgrade it and give it security patches and they do updates on it, whatever, that it does seem to be even after only a year. To me, they want to just keep you buying phones. So they're going to make it phone a little bit slower, a little bit choppier, make the battery a little bit worse. Some updates will make the phone act all quirky, act all weird, and it don't seem to get fixed. So, whenever I hear 5 years of OS updates and 5 years of security patches, that's fine. But that phone ain't going to be worth 2 cents in 5 years. I mean, it's just not. I mean, it's just not. I mean, phones from a while back may have, definitely wouldn't have lasted that long because, we got processors now, man, that will daggone outdo computer, a normal computer. They run so fast and run so quick, but they can kill off a phone as fast as they want to just by going in there and doing a few little things, and they can make them say, okay, we're gonna this phone's getting a little bit older now. We want these people to upgrade, so let's just make the battery life worse. And let's make the phone run hotter. Let's do this, that, and the other. And anybody even, unless you want to just run until the wheels fall off, is anybody going to really keep their phone 5 years? So
yeah, hasn't happened to me yet.
That's a very good point.
So I mean, I think a lot of people that are. Huh?
You don't think you've gone a year?
I haven't gone a year with the phone yet. Like, it's like,
oh man,
yeah.
So I mean, the majority of people out there who are hollering about giving it longer updates, most likely won't keep their phone past 2 years before they because it's just it's just an addiction. You want to buy the latest and greatest. So why such a big deal about getting the next? Because honestly, between 12, 13, I don't really, unless they really do something really different, which Android hasn't done in a long time. Is there really going to be that much of a change coming up in the future? I mean, I guess only time will tell.
Well, I mean that kind of shoots in with the pixel binary transparency, because I think like a lot of people are looking at Android and they're expecting changes as far as user interface, right? They want to see something different with the user interface, something that's kind of brought in. And when you look at Android 12, 13, and 14, it's a very minor change. Maybe a change to the lock screen, adding a lock screen widget that you can customize. Maybe it's emoji wallpapers, those types of things. But the interesting fact with the pixel binary transparency, and I wanted to talk about this because hopefully the person that commented will see this and kind of understand, because I guess replying to comments isn't working. So the PBT is not an app. It's not a service that you log into to look. It's code written into Android 14. It's baked completely into the software, and the only way to actually visually see it is to connect your device with ADB. And then there's a specific command that they give you that you type into the command box and you run it. And it will tell you the integrity of the software. It'll tell you if it's been tampered with. It'll tell you if something has actually hacked into it. It's another layer of security that's being brought to Google Pixels. And only Google Pixels will get this. Other Android phones will not. But that's what it is. And it's another layer of security, which, we've heard for a long time from a lot of people. Pixels aren't secure. All these other things, different custom ROMs like Graphene OS, and then there's another OS that dumbs down a Pixel phone apparently to protect from hacking. But this is just another layer of security besides having the Play update security that happens. Of course, the Play Store being able to scan your apps for malware attachments or anything, and then now we have this. So I think this is the change that I wanted with Android, because it's focusing on something that does absolutely matter. Now that we're consistently seeing companies being hacked, phones being hacked, that's just what we see a lot of since in the last 2 years. So that's what it is. That's the big change in 14. What are your thoughts?
I really don't know. I'm being honest, I really don't know. Of course, security is always good, Yeah. I guess it's going to kind of be like, what is it, like the Samsung Knox? Is that what you said, or did you say it this time? Or
it's something like Knox to a degree, except that I think where I look at this as a beneficial thing for like just an average person that uses a phone, not a geek that knows everything about the internals of the software. I think it's cool because, like, say if someone sells you a Pixel 8. You want to know if there's anything that's actually wrong with it. You yourself, if you bring like a laptop and you can connect to ADB and run that command, you can see if that phone is contaminated in any form. You would know that the security is not there with that device, and therefore you don't have to buy it and then log into your Google account and risk your information being vulnerable. Gotcha. So that's one thing I'm looking at it from that point of view. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, my thing on that is how many people are going to actually know about that and how to use that, and will it matter to maybe like 90% of people or not? Because especially if you're like buying online, right? If you're buying online, like a used device or from the marketplace or something like that to that extent, right? I buy a lot of things on eBay, and I've bought and used phones on eBay, right? Like like the Nexus 5 the Nexus 5X that I passed on to you, right? That device, I unfortunately they didn't have stuff like what they're going to be implementing now, like what you're saying. But it's like, who knows? Like, who knows if that device, which I reset, by the way, that I reset the device, factory reset it. So you would think that the device is safe because someone's factory resetting it, But in this case, I maybe it's not the same anymore in 2023. Where if I were to, have a phone, try to sell it, maybe it's not safe, right? I mean that's what I'm trying to get to is like, it's like how do we know, aside from doing that little thing that you're saying that is the phone safe? Other than that, just reset the phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the sad part.
Yeah,
yeah, Carlos, I know what you're saying about about buying your own devices and not getting items sent to you, so people will think that you're biased. Honestly, I don't care if people think that I'm biased or unbiased. I mean, it's nice to get stuff from companies and review them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's kind of like where Team Pixel comes in, to where they're like, just be open and honest about your opinions. Now, if you sit there and just completely crap and trash their phone, they ain't gonna like it, which they ain't none of them gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to me, it takes a phone being pretty freaking bad to call it trash. I mean, just because it gets a little bit warm, or because it has a few little bug issues, does not sit there and make me call a phone, oh, this thing is just junk, it's trash. I mean, okay, this had nothing to do with a comment or nothing like that, whatever. But let's just say this, okay? You have two main cores in the Pixels, right? You have the main core and then the Titan M2 chip. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're running a new Tensor processor, okay, that's based on the
Mhm.
crappy Exynos processors that Samsung makes, and ain't they?
Yeah.
And they're, and you got a phone this thin, okay. It's got no cooling vents. It's got nowhere for heat to escape. You got it in a case. People wants to go outside at 90 degrees and record video and say, "Oh, my
Mhm.
phone shut off. It's a Pixel problem. It overheats." I'm
In
like, "Oh my
4K.
god, yeah." Now
Yeah.
I'm not. True story. This happened just the other day. I was coming home from the doctor. I had my Pixel 6a with me. Now people said the 6a got really hot. I had
I
problems. You,
watched
you
that.
remember? Huh? Yeah. Did you see that video?
I watched
Well,
that video.
well, that video was 7 or 8 minutes long. Okay, recording in 1080p. That's all you can record in the front camera. It was in the windshield. I had the air on, but the air vents was down here. It was on kind of a low setting, so it wasn't that cool in the
Yeah.
car. And prior to that video, I was just recording just to mess around with it for about 10-15 minutes. In the case, okay, the screen was around 90%. And after I got done with that video, I got a messenger video call where I talked to that person for 35 to 40 minutes with the same 90% display on a video chat on Messenger with the camera turned on in the same area, and the phone never got hot enough to where it even affected it in the least. So I'm not really, and it was in this. I mean, it was like it was 90 outside that day. So I mean, that sun bearing down in that windshield on that, and it had a case. It had one of those fake leather cases on it, trapping that heat
Yeah.
in. And that phone still did not give me a bit of problem. So I'm thinking, what kind of problems are they? It makes you wonder sometimes if it's intentional. You don't want to think that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like my experience with the 6A and all that video calling with the cameras and apps and recording video and the screen up to almost 100%, and it got warm, but it never got hot enough to where it's like, okay, we're going to cut your LTE off or 5G or whatever. We're going to cut this off, that off. It never affected it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I thought this one had heating issues. I'm like, well, I don't see it here. This is a prime test right here. And when it comes to me giving anybody, I'm not going to bullcrap anybody. I'm not going to sit there, and say, oh, this is the best phone ever, and then by my breath say, well, I would really, just because it was sent to me. You know what I'm saying? If it's got a problem, I'm going to mention it. But if it's got a little bit of a heating problem here, a little bit of a stutter problem here, that can be fixed up with updates. Because when something comes out new, it amazes me whenever Samsung comes out with something, Apple comes out with something. There's a bit of an issue with it, but it gets a pass.
Yeah.
Everybody shrugs it off. Oh, it's nothing. It'll get fixed with an update. It's blah, blah. Hush, hush. Don't say nothing about it. Whatever. But if it's a Pixel or whatever else it is, it's just immediately it's a problem, and they keep driving that problem home. And I'm like, is it that big of a deal? I mean, a phone's going to get warm. I mean, you got all that power, you got all that stuff going into a little thin phone that's got no heat vents. It might have little cooling things inside, but it has nowhere to really escape, especially if it's in a case. So I don't know. To me, it's just. I think a lot of it's
my
pettiness.
7 Pro, by the way, I'm watching this exact live stream as we're going, and I'm touching the back of it, and the phone is warm, guys, and I'm just doing something basic like watching a video on YouTube.
I'm watching it right now on my 7, and it's cool. I mean, it's cool.
Mine is a little warm, but
it's cool to the touch. I mean, it's not warm in the least.
But
So
I do have it plugged in also, so that might be an after effect because I'm charging the device at the same time. Also,
I'm gonna address this really quickly to Carlos. Like several things that Carlos posted real quick. First
hard, man.
Yeah. Yes, where RJ's at and where you're at in Vegas, 115 plus does make a big difference because I record with my 7A and my 6 and the 7, and they overheat pretty quickly. But that's just because if it's 117 outside and I'm in my car and my AC ain't working. I mean, it works, but it can't fight the heat. Inside my car is like 120 degrees. It's gonna overheat quick. I mean, that's a given. The other thing that you're talking about with backdoors and stuff like that with softwares, and Apple doesn't create backdoors for government to tap into your phones and stuff like that. I honestly, and not crapping on your whole statement, Carlos, but I don't think the rest of the country really cares about that type of stuff. That's not stuff that they're looking into. Great point of what you're making on that. If you don't want anyone getting into access into your phone, definitely. But if you're referencing Alphabet Soup as Alphabet Inc., there's no way that Google is going to stray away from that, because Alphabet Inc. owns Google. That's theirs. So everything that Google is Alphabet owned. So that's the Pixels, that's the Android software, that's Fuchsia OS, that's all of it. They have nowhere to go, man. Where would they go? So,
yeah, I mean,
at the same time,
yeah.
too, I mean, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna finish it up with because I mean, Carlos has this conversation, especially when I bring up that Google Pixels is getting a form of security. He always brings that information in, and we know that Apple doesn't want to create a backdoor for police agencies or anyone to get into. We remember the whole San Bernardino thing. That's what you mean by them. See, when you say choose a different name, Carlos, and see. But you can call them whatever else. You call them Alphabet Soup. I'm thinking Alphabet Inc., which owns Google. Okay, gotcha. So you gotta clarify, dude. I don't call the CIA Alphabet Soup, and I really don't care if the CIA watches this. I really don't care what the government does these days. If they're that ridiculous and they want to take me out, because you're only doing me a favor. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, screw the government. But I mean, 115 degrees versus 90, 95 degrees. Yeah, that's a big difference. Now, I'm not sure wherever you live. I'm not sure if you have those.
Vegas.
Okay, well, around here we have a thing called the Bermuda High. Okay, where it pulls in so much tropical moisture from the Gulf that it can be like 95 degrees, but for like 110.
Yeah,
the real field temperature.
We kind of get that with the Gulf of Mexico where I live. So
the
humidity can be bad.
I mean, you can watch the high pressure off the southeast coast of the United States, and where it spins it right up the southeast, right through my state. I mean, it's just we get all that tropical nasty moisture where you walk outside, it's like you got to have a knife to kind of cut through it. That's how thick and hot and awful the air is. But we don't have, but as far as the actual temperature being 115, no, we never get above 100 degrees here because the air is it's always so hazy because of that thickness in the air from the moisture. So I get off into a whole meteorology standpoint. I've studied that stuff, so I can talk about that all day long. But yeah, I mean, it's just like my Samsung right now on here in this cool environment is getting hot. You know what I'm saying? And just by touching the sides over here, I can feel it's getting pretty warm, not like hot. And yes, I have noticed that there are, remember the old LG phones, like, some of the older high-end LGs, them phones could about spontaneously combust on you and never would stop working. I remember I had some older LGs that whenever you held them in your hand, it was like playing hot potato. I mean, you could fry an egg on the sucker, and that thing would just keep on working. I just think that.
Do you know why Pixels have that, right?
What's that?
Like, how with the reference of like recording video and how it says like your phone's too hot, certain features are shut down. Do you guys know why Pixel actually has that against other Android devices that don't do it?
Get some protection. I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're on it, but like
overheat and fry on its own. It's like a safety measure.
I mean, it's pretty much that.
Yeah.
No, you guys are right. It's pretty much that.
With a brick device,
because Yeah, you guys remember how like some devices people would report and to be like, mine's just shut off and it stopped turning on and all this other stuff. And so, and then it sucks. There's a way to disable it, but that involves you flashing a custom ROM onto your Pixel. That's the only way you're really going to disable that. But it's just really there just to keep the phone at a temperature where it's not going to damage internal components to the phone, where it would cause it to, just brick out down the road as you keep continuing. Because, you record videos and stuff, you don't do it just one time. You record videos when you feel like it. And yeah, so that's a fail safe. But you can disable it. You just got to flash a custom ROM.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing in the comments here about using Apple. Honestly, if it had to be no more than what I really use I don't use my phone outside a ton. When I go out, my phone is usually by pocket or it's somewhere in the car. I don't really use it a whole lot. So taking a small picture here, a little video there, usually ain't gonna cause that much of a problem. I'd have to be very desperate to use an iPhone. I'm seeing iPhone a lot here. If I had to use an iPhone, I think I would just use nothing, if I had to be honest. I'm just being real. I don't like iPhone. I don't like Apple, period. That's just my personal opinion. I mean,
fighting words.
They never did. I mean, they never did nothing. Ain't nothing to me. Everybody has their preferences. It's not like oh, you're an Apple fan, so I can't be your friend, or you got blue bubbles and green bubbles and all that. That's just the dumbest bunch of crap I've ever heard in my life. I don't care what phone anybody uses, but for me personally, I've tried iPhones. They're just so constrictive that they're just so you can't do nothing with them. I mean, you still cannot move your app where you want it on the home screen. Since the first iPhone, you cannot have like 2 rows up top and then a blank space and then 2 at the bottom. You put an app down here at the bottom, it's going to shoot up to the next space beside the other app. That's kind of bad after how many years of the same layout, 15, 16, however many years it's been now, and you still can't put your apps where you want them, and space them out or whatever you want to do. That's kind of pathetic. At least let them do something with their phone that they pay $1,000 for.
Guys,
what about you, Mike?
I'm sorry. I found out some breaking news, and I'm trying to get some confirmation, non-tech related, sure. But one of my buddies sent to me saying that Tony Khan fired CM Punk, and that CM Punk is no longer with the company.
Way.
Yes. Holy crap! Way. Yes. And I'm confirming it on the X app right now. Oh my, yeah.
We'll get into that towards the end.
What the heck? Dude, nobody's gonna be at All Out now, dude. Like nobody is gonna go to All Out. What the fuck?
Hey, that's crazy. That's TK's prerogative,
Excuse me for cussing, by the way. Excuse my.
I don't care. Cuss all you want. I said, I don't care.
Oh my god.
I'm in YouTube retirement. Like everybody, if you have forgotten, I'm in YouTube retirement. I don't care if you guys cuss. Just don't show porn on the live. Like, don't grab a babe and just be like, "Let me show y'all new technique," because then I'll have to cut you off.
Holy shit, dude! This is crazy, dude. Oh my god. I would. You want me to read you the statement, or you want me to?
Yeah. Read the statement.
Okay.
Read the statement.
Let me read the statement. My friend sent it to me, and this is directly from their statement from All Elite Wrestling and Tony Khan. All Elite Wrestling has terminated the wrestler and employment agreements between Phillip Brooks, CM Punk, and AEW with cause effective immediately. The termination was confirmed today by Tony Khan, CEO, general manager, and head of creative of AEW. The termination follows a week-long internal investigation of an incident occurring backstage at AEW All In London on Sunday, August 27th, which was this past Sunday. Following the investigation, the AEW Discipline Committee met and later convened with outside legal counsel before making a unanimous recommendation to Khan that CM Punk be terminated with cause. Khan offered the following statement. Phil played an important role within AEW, and I thank him for his contributions. The termination of his AEW contracts with cause is ultimately my decision and mine alone. Of course, I wish I didn't have to share this news which many come as disappointment to many of our fans. Nevertheless, I am making the decision in the best interest of the many amazing people who make AEW possible every week, our talent, staff, and venue operators, and many others whose efforts are unsung but essential to bringing our fans great shows on television and at the arena stadiums throughout the world. And that was the statement. Oh my god, dude. The wrestling podcasters are going to go crazy this weekend, dude. This is gonna be nuts. It's
no,
crazy.
We can go,
it's been a crazy week.
Again to,
no.
You want to go on again tonight also, or we'll do it right now. Let's do it right now.
I'm gonna watch Payback tonight, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to do a separate stream, we can.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about it now, we can talk about it right now. I mean, let's go.
No, we're gonna talk about it right now. Then probably what I'm gonna do is because I can download the recording of this live stream and I'll cut it. I'll cut it just to where we started talking about wrestling, and I'll send it. I'll upload it to Drive and send you guys the link to download it. You guys post it to your channel. Fuck Tony Khan. I said it. Fuck Tony Khan. So how the hell are you gonna fucking fire CM Punk?
Yeah.
But you don't do shit with the way that your other talent is. You got MJF who threw a bottle of water in a kid's face in a crowd. Mm-hmm. That's fucking taboo in any wrestling promotion. And he walks away with it. Like Tony sits there like an angry wife and looks all mad. And MJF is like talking about, to another guy, do you want a pickle? Come get a fucking pickle and all this other shit. Like you can't control your talent, but you want to sound like that you have control by firing CM Punk. Like luckily Phil patched things up with Triple H and AEW just fucked themselves because if CM Punk walks on WWE, that's it. Their ratings are already, in my opinion, they're already bad as is.
Yeah, and I think WWE would be dumb to not capitalize
Jack
on
Curry
this
too.
Yeah, so especially with Royal Rumble season coming up, right, and WrestleMania just right around the corner. Also, his wife AJ Lee, her contract is already done with the Glow promotion that she was working with. So who knows? It could be only a matter of time before we see both of them back in a WWE ring. If Vince and Endeavor or whoever's job it is to bring people in, right, allows him to come. Because I think, realistically, we already knew that Punk was already within his last few years of his career. Like, I mean, he only had a 3-year contract with AEW, as far as I know. But he's older. He's in his late 40s. He's already been plagued with injuries for the most part since he came back to AEW. He's had a few surgeries and a few major injuries. He's barely been back. The guy just barely came back for Collision. They made a show for this guy. No. They made a show for this guy so that him and the other dweebs or fucking loser guys that no one cares to watch. And I'm gonna say it, the Elite. I fucking hate the Elite. The only good person in that group is Kenny Omega, and that's saying something because Kenny Omega is a great wrestler. The other people I don't give a shit about. But anyways,
what do you think, RJ?
Yeah,
I honestly have never watched AEW.
Good, you don't even want to, dude. Honestly,
what?
I have never.
We're going to your house.
Yeah, we're gonna go watch All Out tomorrow at your place.
Well, see,
get the tables, Mike. Get the tables.
I don't know where to watch it at. That's the thing.
They show it on TBS and TNT if you have cable. Yeah.
I don't have I have no cable, no satellite. I just go off of streaming services that show, like tonight on Payback
YouTube
will be on.
They show a lot of the highlights on YouTube.
Oh, really? Because tonight on Peacock, of course, you're gonna have Payback. So I'm definitely gonna check that out. Which I haven't watched a Raw or SmackDown since SummerSlam. So I have no idea what's going on. Because a lot of times I just forget. I honestly forget it's even coming on a lot of times. Especially you get caught up in other things or whatever. But I've never watched AEW. I've seen little clips of it here and there, but I've never sat and watched like a pay-per-view. I know they're called like PLEs now, but I grew up at a time where it was pay-per-view, okay? Where it cost you $70 to watch a pay-per-view, and now you can watch, and now you can pay $10 to Peacock every month or whatever, and get movies, TV shows, and every wrestling event and everything for $10 a month. I remember back in the 90s, sometimes renting some pay-per-views that cost $70, and I'm like, my God, it's crazy.
I
Yeah,
gotta
so
address this.
Brian
Hold
Lau's
on real
making some
quick.
comments over here. Go ahead, Tigo.
Brian, I don't know if you know this, but Triple H doesn't wrestle anymore. He's
Mm-mm.
actually he actually
He's
is
been out of the
running
game
the show
for a
along
couple
with
years.
Vince. He hasn't been in a match in what, 3 years?
Ever since he had his
he's not
heart,
running it no
heart
more, dude. You don't
problem,
have to
yeah,
see
he
his
stopped
awful
wrestling, I think.
suplexes.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I think his
yeah,
last
no heart
official
problem,
match
yeah.
was at one of the I think it was with Shawn Michaels and Undertaker and Kane at one of the Saudi Arabia events, but that was probably the last time that Triple H actually wrestled. But guys, I'm sorry, like my mind
Yeah.
is like has just gone off the rails because like I have a buddy that me and him talk about this constantly. My phone is blowing up right now because we're just chit-chatting about what's happening. It's crazy though. Going back, CV, since I know you say
Yeah, like-
you don't watch AEW, Punk, are you familiar with CM Punk at least?
Yeah, well, a little bit. I mean,
So
there was a time in WWE because I was very heavily in WWF back in the Attitude Era. That was like the best era ever, my personal opinion. People couldn't stand it today because people would walk out crying today if they seen or heard things that was said and done back in the WWF days and the Attitude Era. Because we live in the snowflake era now,
Yes.
But
yeah.
but I watched it for a while and then I got out of it for a long time. So whenever CM Punk was there, I don't think I was watching WWE then.
Okay. So CM Punk, he left WWE.
You missed a Bloodline story
back in 2014, I believe, right? He was one
of
their top guys.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Bloodline story?
What about it?
I mean, is that what you just said?
If you haven't been watching WWE in a while,
that's the big.
That's a really good story.
I have watched the Bloodline. I mean, I started. When does CM Punk leave WWE first?
He left. I want to say in 2014.
I started watching it in 2016, and I've been watching it ever since 2016.
So CM Punk's WWE run was, I would believe, between I think 2006. I want to say late 2005, 2006 to up until 2014. He had a little bit of injury, and there was a little bit of drama with him during his exit. He held the WWE title for over 400 days. Yeah. So during his time, he actually had like the longest reigning WWE title run in the modern era in the 2000s. Up until he left the company, and then Vince decided, since we don't want his name attached to that, we're going to make Brock Lesnar that guy. So Brock Lesnar beat his reign with 500 plus days, and now it's Roman Reigns with 3,000 or 3,000 some days. But anyways, going back, he left the company. He stopped wrestling for like 7 years. He got out of wrestling. He left. He got into acting or comic book writing, whatever he's been doing for that long. AEW UFC came around, right?
For a small time.
Yeah, he did his UFC thing also. He lost 2 matches and never went back. Of course, they were the shortest UFC matches in UFC history. But he came back. AEW started as a company in 2019, pre-COVID. There had been talks of him returning. Yeah. He had already been in talks with Tony Khan even before the promotion came, and he kind of bought his time. COVID happened, so he was like, this wouldn't be a good time for me to return. So once, the fans were able to come back into the arenas, CM Punk was finally signed, and you wouldn't believe his return had probably one of the loudest pops that you would ever hear for anyone that's returning to
ice cream bars.
Ice cream bars. Apparently, he bought the whole all of the entire arena ice cream bars that night, by the way, which is badass. Some people kept them, some people didn't. But he returned in his hometown of Chicago. It was with positive intention for his return, right? It brought ratings up. I think that was one of the highest rated shows because I think it was one of the first Rampage shows. He stayed away from the title picture. He didn't immediately go in. He was trying to work with the younger talent. He was trying to get, he's trying to get his groove back. Obviously, wrestling because obviously you're out for 7 years. You have to. Get back into it slowly. The guy's body was already taking, hits from his prior stints with WWE. So when he finally got into the title picture, he gets injured. He ends up having to vacate the title. And then he comes back after his injury. He comes back after his injury. He regains the title. And then after that, there was this thing that happened at one of the pay-per-views called All Out. and it was post. I don't know if Tito, maybe you want to explain this. What happened at All Out last year?
Yeah. Oh my God, that was a clusterfuck of everything. So you had CM Punk basically regained the championship because at the time Jon Moxley was champion. So Jon Moxley was champion. He was champion. One was going to walk out with the match. Obviously, what happened backstage was because there's a little bit of AEW has talent that just loves to fucking gossip. They're little girls that got to talk like they're in high school. And so several people were talking about CM Punk, his relations with Colt Cabana, and the
did he freeze
words
up
were said. So did I freeze up?
Yeah, a little bit.
You're back now, though.
My freaking Wi-Fi everywhere. But anyways, what I was saying was that so after the pay-per-view, words were tossed around, and what was it? They're known as the Elite as a group, but like Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, they went to confront CM Punk in his locker room. Story has it that they came busting through the locker room door. So CM Punk immediately took that as a threat by the way that their relationship was already rocky. And it was said that he threw the first punch and a brawl broke out in the back locker room between CM Punk and Ace against Matt and Nick. And supposedly Kenny Omega was just trying to protect CM Punk's dog because the dog was in the locker room, and the scuffle broke out. So because of that happening, all those involved in the altercation, well, most of them were suspended. Ace was fired. Punk was suspended and stripped of the title. And then the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega were suspended for a while, but they were brought back a lot sooner than CM Punk was brought back from the suspension. And obviously, because they wanted to keep those two groups separated from each other, they built the show Collision. So CM Punk would have a show to be on and be able to, communicate with the fans and put on a show. Without him and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega crossing paths, really, they were trying to keep them apart, which when AEW did that and I saw that news, me being a wrestling fan, that tells me you don't have control over your company. Like, you have no control. If you have to literally build another show and house, the B talent to go on it to perform, so you have a show centered around CM Punk, then you don't control shit as an owner, honestly. Like, You guys, have you ever heard Vince McMahon saying, okay, you know what? Let's, hypothetically speaking, Chris Jericho and Brock Lesnar got into some heat backstage, so we're going to build an entire show for Chris Jericho to keep him separated from Brock Lesnar. No.
Nope.
It's fucking ridiculous.
No, if that was a Vince thing, Vince would have freaking thrown Chris Jericho into the wolves, and he would have gotten a big ass beat down from Brock Lesnar, or a simple solution, somebody would have gotten fired. And who do you think Vince is going to pick at the end of the day? Is he going to pick Jericho, or is he going to pick Lesnar to stay? So
Vince punishes people by making them work. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Like if your talent, you fuck up. You don't get really suspended from Vince. He makes you work. He puts you in some grueling ass matches. You're doing house shows. Yeah, and
he has you lose a lot to teach you your lesson. That's what Vince would do, or he would put you in some stupid ass gimmicky matches, or some stupid ass gimmick in general, just so that you can learn your lesson about not like respecting authority. This is something that TK obviously couldn't do. Obviously, and a lot of people have been saying this for the past couple of years already, that he needs to hire some sort of authority figure to handle the talent when it comes to shit like this. And it's just been ridiculous over the past year. Like, because it's sad to say that CM Punk's incident last year overshadowed the entire pay-per-view card. No one cared about the pay-per-view. Everyone cared about what happened with CM Punk and the Elite. And then what happened this past week at All In, it was the same thing. Once I heard the news, and this was already the third match going in, that we were already seeing tweets about this on social media, I was like, holy shit, this is happening all over again. We're having Brawl In now instead of Brawl Out. So, and you know what? The funny part is that if he doesn't fire Jack Perry as well, because I think Jack Perry is also just as responsible for what happened as
hell
CM Punk was,
is.
right? That people are going to look down on TK. I think they need to fire Jack Perry also, because he was the one that instigated it. He was the one that got in front of the camera on a live pay-per-view, and he was talking shit, and everyone knows what he was talking about for people that follow the dirt sheets, right?
Yeah,
I think it's just ridiculous. If he just gets a fine or a slap on the wrist, I don't know, man. I usually just bootleg watching the pay-per-views for AEW, but I might literally skip all out tomorrow just because I really don't care. They're in Chicago, you're in Punk's hometown, and you let the guy go.
How the fuck do you fire him?
How do you do that? How do you do this? This is like so stupid, and I'm so mad because I'm just like, I can't believe that he believes
this
that
was the worst time to do it.
Yeah, and I believe that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, this is the fucking worst time to do it.
It's the worst time. Yeah.
You let him go. Your pay-per-view's in his hometown, so now the hometown crowd's gonna be super fucking pissed.
Yeah.
But on top of that, we lost people recently. We lost Terry Funk. We lost Wyndham Rotunda, also known as Bray Wyatt. Like, this is like the worst time to fucking do any type of firing. And I agree with you, Mike. If they don't let go of Jack, I don't give a fuck that his dad is Luke Perry. No one gives a shit about 90210 Beverly Hills Show. If they don't fire Jack Perry for this, because he did start it, as most of the stories have been pretty much consistent with what happened backstage, and exactly what you said, that little statement he said on a live camera. And for those who want to know, all it was that CM Punk was just trying, like, he's looking out for the talent. It's not that I'm a fan of CM Punk, so I'm like, blowing smoke up people's asses for this. But he was trying to tell him, like, don't wreck your body to try to elevate yourself into that stardom position, because then your body's going to break down as you get older. You're going to hurt. And he was talking about using prop glass. CM Punk has this thing about just use prop glass. You don't need to use real glass to show you're a hardcore wrestler or anything like that. And Jack Perry poked at that after slamming Hook on some real glass and literally said into the camera that they use real glass. Whatever else he said after that, do something about it. Whatever fuck he said, idiot.
So this whole thing, going on for a year already. I knew someone was going to get fired eventually, right? I didn't think it was going to be Punk. I really thought that the Elite were just going to leave AEW and not renew their contracts. But I kind of knew that once they renewed their contracts, that we probably wouldn't see Punk much longer, and that's kind of the case now. Obviously, that the news just broke, and we're all talking. Even Mill Hustles sent us something in our little chat there on the X app.
Oh yeah, I saw the notification. You know what, too? I'm gonna say this also to Tony Khan. Stop selling CM Punk merch. If you fired the man,
they're not gonna make money. Yeah.
No, I mean, because when he was suspended, they were still selling it.
Yeah.
It was heavily pushed. So it was like, you took the guy off TV, you took him off pay-per-views, but you're gonna sell his stuff to make money off his name. Like, no.
Yeah, especially because CM Punk is still like his T-shirt is still their top selling fucking T-shirt.
Oh yeah,
in general. So even the guy doesn't even have to be there. He can be injured for 6 freaking months, and they're still gonna be buying his shirt, obviously because he has the best design shirt, obviously, and none of the other people have good shirts. But anyway, guys, it's just been an interesting day. It's been an interesting week. I don't know if Tito wants to talk about this any further. I mean, I kind of already got it out of my system.
Oh no, man, we're going in on it.
I'm really shocked, man. I'm really 100% shocked that this happened. Suspension, okay, fine. I really thought there was just going to be like, $50,000 fine. He had a $5 million contract, guys. Like, for those of you who don't know, he had the top paying contract in the company. So first of all, TK is going to have to pay out that contract, right? And then we'll see how long it's going to be before Punk can maybe move on to another promotion if he decides to do that. I think that's going to be crazy because he wasn't done. I don't think he was done to any stretch of the imagination. So the only other place I could think he's not going to go to, well, obviously not Ring of Honor, because Ring of Honor is owned by AEW. He's not going to go to Impact, right? What is he going to do for Impact? He's not going to do anything for Impact. But the only place I could see him like finishing his career is WWE, even though, maybe they left on a sour taste, in their mouth when he parted ways the first time. Although, again, he went back a couple months back and he talked to Triple H, right? So maybe there's some sort of reconciliation there. Now that Vince really isn't 100% in charge of the company, he owns 49% of the company, and Endeavor owns 51%. Endeavor might saying, hey, Like as much as we don't want him back, it would make sense to bring him back and imagine how much the ratings would go up if CM Punk came back to WWE, like, and it would just shatter fucking AEW's rating. Like, I would love to see that happen because I hate to say it, right? Like, I have friends that are like super like just anti WWE, and like I get that, right? Because they bury talent. There's people that come from the indies and then they do their best to get out there, and it just doesn't work out, right? Sometimes being the best wrestler in the world doesn't equivalent to being the top guy in the business. You don't have to be the best wrestler in the world to be the top guy in the business. And I think that's, that's why people love AEW so much, because they have such great wrestling over there. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you love great wrestling, watch AEW, watch Impact, whatever. If you watch WWE, you're going to get a little bit of everything. You're going to get storylines, but you're also going to get amazing wrestling also when they want to give it to you. They're not always going to give it to you, but when they can, they're going to give it to you. And example, WrestleMania this year, night one, amazing, right? We all love night one. Night two, the first half of the card was okay, subpar, right? It was kind of like people were still tired from night one, but the main event, the main event was amazing. Yeah. You were on the edge of your fucking seat.
I was so mad.
We were also mad that Cody lost, right? Because that should have been his night, and so many people were saying that WWE dropped the ball. But guess what? We're still talking about it till this day. So and we all love the match, And
it brought something good though, if you think about it. SummerSlam and how that ended, and how Brock, off script raised the hand of Cody, hugged him, like basically just like he got put over by Brock. So while it sucked that he didn't win the title at WrestleMania, it got a little bit more put behind him. Like it solidifies that when he challenges for that title, whether it's the World Heavyweight title or if it's the Universal Undisputed Championship, it solidifies his right to be at that level holding that belt.
And that's you guys know that Brock Lesnar doesn't do shit like that, by the way.
He doesn't.
He does not do stuff like that. And even Cody being who he is and who his father was and whatever, he just doesn't do that for people. You really have to earn his respect in order for him to go do something like that. So that's saying something about Cody. Just like I was telling you earlier before we started, I think Cody did the right thing by leaving the sinking ship before he before any of this happened, right? I think he maybe internally saw stuff that he wasn't liking, and I can see why he left the company now. And I'm not trying to knock TK, like, even though fuck TK, I don't like him.
Fuck TK.
Fuck TK. But
we're talking about Tony Khan. Before someone runs to TK and TK's garage, I gotta make that clear because someone might think that we're saying TK's garage. Not that guy. TK. We're talking about Tony Khan.
No, fuck Tony Khan. Okay, but I don't know how this guy keeps getting Booker of the Year, but for those of you who follow dirt sheets and whatnot, there's only one guy that gives him that every single year, and that's Dave Meltzer. Okay. So I don't know. Dave Meltzer might be in Tony Khan's checkbook wallet over there. We'll see. But in this case, like, I just don't see it. I think, a lot of the AEW matches are just thrown around and put together like just sloppily. There's really no stories. The matches are okay. Yeah. Sometimes the matches are fun to watch. Right. Once you see Jon Moxley bleed, once you see it every single time, every match he has, he's bleeding or something's happening there. So they don't take care of their talent. A lot of them are getting hurt, from these, high profile matches that they like to have. Their top guy at the time, which was Kenny Omega, he was suffering through injury. He had to take almost a year off. Same thing with CM Punk. He came in, he got hurt, right? I'm surprised he didn't get hurt sooner. Bryan Danielson hurt. He's out. He has a broken arm. I thought he was going to return at All In as a surprise. It didn't happen. So you have a lot of their top guys. Of course, some of these talents are older, but they're getting hurt. So that, to me, that means that they're not working safe. They're not working how they're supposed to be working. And going back to the whole CM Punk Jack Perry thing, obviously he was in his right to say, hey, use prop glass, do not use real glass. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because he knows what he's talking about. He's been in the business for 20 plus years since the 90s. So for a guy that is that experienced, a multi-time world champion, a guy who started from scratch and literally clawed his way to the top, to be in the wrong about that, like that's just bullshit. Like you don't have to take the advice if you don't want to, right? But don't be a fucking like a dumbass little kid about it and disrespect somebody like that on TV. And then look what happens. CM Punk gets fired. It's fucking ridiculous. Oh my god.
I want to address this really quickly. I mean, Oscar. I know. Well, Oscar said, I know what you're talking about. Where Jericho's been very vocal backstage, and for people that don't know the insides of wrestling, I give it up. I give Chris Jericho props for having balls. I mean, for that dude to literally get into a fight with Brock, like not no storyline shit. He really got into it with Brock because he thought Brock hurt Randy Orton in that match. He had no idea that Randy Orton okayed for Brock to bust his forehead open with that elbow. I didn't even know that. I really thought that was a mistake. I didn't know that was actually planned. Like Randy Orton was like, yeah, dude, like, cut me open. Yeah. They trust Brock to be able to do these things. Obviously, he's been in the UFC. He knows how to strike and everything. So they trust him to be able to do these things. And, but that's that. The other thing, and it's something that you touch base with, Mike, that pretty much is like the highlight to show you where the state of AEW is in. If your top guys are getting hurt and you're not working safe, you're not working in the best interest of your talent, who's putting the money in his pocket. He's only making this money because they are there to do, to put on a performance, to entertain fans, and to just bring the house down. And, people can say what they want about WWE and, it's too much story. It's super. Okay, I get that. But when you kind of look at it, strip out all the bullshit and compare both side by side, like how many injuries does WWE have with their top talent? And now that fucking tells a tale right there. Yeah. They work safe.
Yeah, minus Cody Rhodes last year, which didn't even happen in the ring. That was a workout injury. And I don't know if you ever heard that story. He actually said the story of what happened when he was working out that time. But yeah, pretty much you don't see a lot of their top talent. Even though Roman Reigns is like a part-time world champion, hasn't been hurt in the last 3 years. Luckily, he's been able to come. And if he has had injury, it's minor injuries, right? Obviously, he's been in a lot of very high-profile matches, especially with Brock Lesnar last year. If you guys pay attention to that, but then you have guys like Seth Rollins who had just been killing it for the company also since COVID, right? He's been kind of like one of their work dogs, and apparently it has been revealed that he has some back issues. That he has some issues with some of his what do they call them? Your spine, I guess. So the discs, yeah. So he's actually wrestling like in pain a lot. So
you can see it in his face.
Yeah. So he, that was revealed, especially with his feud with Nakamura right now, that's happening. Yeah. And who knows? I mean, who knows how much longer he's gonna hold that title? He might drop the title tonight at Payback against Nakamura. Who knows? We'll see.
That'd be cool.
Because if that, again, I don't know. This could be just story based, but from it seems like it's a real thing. At least to me. Why would
jump in, RJ, at any time?
Yeah. Now go ahead. Yeah.
Jump in. We're talking, man. Just throw stuff in there, dude. I don't care. You don't have. Yeah, if you're a fan, not a super fan, this doesn't matter. Just say something.
I mean, like I say, I have very little to no knowledge about AEW. Like I said, I've never really watched an entire episode of it. I don't know as much about it. Now WWE. I know, I mean, talking about injuries and stuff like that. A lot of times in WWE when they talk about, they're out because of this injury. A lot of it, a lot of them injuries are just they want time off, or they're getting time off or whatever.
Some of it is written off.
But so in the WWE, who right now would y'all say that y'all were like pushing right now?
Me, like LA Knight.
LA Knight.
Yeah.
You.
Well, yeah. I forgot about him, but he is good. But I tell you, some people might think I've always personally been a fan of Cody Rhodes. Mm-hmm. Even back whenever he was a little scrawny thing that never won a match. You know what I'm saying? I still like Cody. I don't know why, but now that he's back, it's like he's a completely different person. And to listen to him and to see him fight, and from what I've heard about what was it? His so what is it called? I don't remember now. I just think he's pretty stand up, and I think that it'd be a shame if WWE waste his talent, and don't do nothing with him.
Yeah, they wasted on Bray Wyatt. They could have gave him all the opportunity, and now he's not here with us to scare the shit out of me anymore, and I'm pissed on that. Like, damn, we lost some good ones.
You know, I mean, it's just amazing how, you know, they let so many people go, and they don't use so many people because, you know, and it's like, you know, there for a long time, WWE was in the habit of doing the same matches every week with the same people over and over and
The same tag
over, and
matches.
it's like you knew exactly who was going to fight, what they was going to, you know, do, and it seemed to go from one pay-per-view to the next. You know what I'm saying? It's like it got so repetitive and boring. You know, and some don't like storylines. I personally like a storyline. I like whenever they, you know, especially like, you know, like the Stone Cold McMahon rivalry back in the 90s, 2000s, or whatever. Really good rivalry, really good storylines. I like stuff like that. You know, I mean, if you have a show where they're just out there fighting all the time, it's over with, and then the next match, and then I kind of like the soap opera storyline drama type stuff in the WWE. I think it's pretty cool at times. Some of it can be a little drawn out, like this whole. I mean, like the Bloodline. I think it's been awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's probably been one of the best storylines that they've had since, I would probably say, the Attitude Era, from what I can remember.
Yeah.
And I haven't really been following it ever since SummerSlam. I hadn't really been following it in any. So I'm really not sure what's going to happen or what's going on with that. I mean, if y'all want to fill me in.
It's still going on. It's still going on. I don't know. Do you want to, Tito, or do you want me to give him?
Go ahead, take it away, man.
Yeah, no. So since SummerSlam, obviously, you know, there's been a lot of confliction. I think Sami Zayn was the face going in, right? Eventually, at the Rumble, you know, he got really popular in the Bloodline. So Roman Reigns wasn't liking that. You know, at the Rumble, you know, they were feuding with Kevin Owens at the time. Roman Reigns had a match with Kevin Owens, and
I've seen all that.
At the end of the Rumble, Reigns was giving him a beatdown. That happened, you know. So Sami Zayn decided, okay, this is my best friend in real life. I'm not going to let this happen. He hit him with a chair. So that led to a match at Elimination Chamber in Canada, you know, pre-WrestleMania. That happened. Sami Zayn lost, obviously, but you know they won the tag titles at WrestleMania versus the Usos, so him and KO are tag champions. Cody Rhodes and you know, again,
send Mill an invite.
Reigns happened. Send who?
If Mill
you want me to send him an invite or what?
Yeah, send him an invite. Let him in if he wants to come in.
I clicked the wrong thing. Am I allowed to send an invite? Or I think that's only you. No, hold on. Let's see. It doesn't. Well, hold on. I think I can copy paste the thing. Yeah, from there. I'm sure fucking Mill Hustles is gonna fucking rant the hell out of this, dude. Honestly, but anyway, so yeah, no, hold on. Let me. Yeah, it's gonna get louder in here, guys. Let me copy paste the link on for him really quick. But basically, since WrestleMania, you know, Roman Reigns, post Cody Rhodes, right? What the heck? Who's he been freaking feuding with? I'm already forgetting. Honestly, I'm just so worked up over this.
Recently. Moving on,
feuding with Jey Uso. I'm sorry, he was feuding with his own cousin.
I mean, moving on past that, past SummerSlam.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of reports was Jey. Who was it? Jey Uso quit. Did he really quit, or is he still there?
No. I don't know if it's a work or not, but he's still got to be employed. Honestly,
it's a work. So I have a feeling it's a work.
Because I'm like, you know, like I said, I haven't watched a Raw or SmackDown since SummerSlam. And so I don't know any new feuds, any new this, any new that. So
I sent him the link.
Whenever I watch Payback later tonight, I guess I'll catch up on all that stuff because my good friend that I've known for over 20 years, we usually get on Xbox together with, you know, chatting over headsets while we're watching pay-per-view. So he'll fill me in on everything that's been going on over the past since SummerSlam and everything. And so, yeah, I don't know if I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know what tonight's going to be. Who's even in tonight? You know what I'm saying?
Roman Reigns is on vacation right now, so
yeah,
the headliner is going to be Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't think the IC title is being defended tonight. From what I remember, I think it's going to be defended on Monday night. It's just kind of
Chad
like
Gable's not going to get it tonight.
I don't remember if it's gonna
Why would
happen tonight or if it's gonna happen on Monday. But
How dare they mess with my new Kurt Angle? What the
Right.
hell's wrong with them?
Hey,
the new Kurt
this
Angle.
is completely random, okay, and this
Yeah.
is completely out of left field.
Yeah.
But how comfortable would you be being out there with 10 other people in the ring?
Yeah.
And being barefooted when you see all them boots out there in the daggone. I don't know why, but
you're
whenever I
talking
see somebody
about,
come out,
Matt
when I see
Riddle.
Someone's gonna step on it.
whenever I see somebody come out there and they're barefooted in the ring, and I see all those boots out there in the ring, I'd be like, I ain't no way. I would be scared to death. I would get my freaking toes crushed or
Yeah, Matt
something,
Riddle's
man.
crazy. I don't know how he can go out there. I mean,
I don't know why.
Rusev used to do that also, but then he ended up breaking his foot or something or breaking his toe. So,
Oh yeah.
so they told him he can't do it anymore. So I don't know why they allow Riddle to do that. But
I don't know
it is
why.
what it is.
It just gives me the. I'm like, one day you can get your foot stomped by one of the, especially if you get one of those. You know,
I'm sure it
what's that?
happens.
What's that dude's name? I mean, Umaga was not Umaga.
R.I.P. Umaga, by the way.
You talking about Solo Sikoa?
You're talking about Solo?
No,
That's one of his,
that huge, that big,
Braun Strowman?
tall. No, I can't remember his
Omos?
name. Yes,
Omos? Oh, okay, yeah. Omos, yeah. He's got
I'm
like
like-
a size fucking 20.
I'm like, what if he steps on your toes, man? You know, I don't know. That stuff just goes through my mind, and I'm like, there is no way. I mean, I wouldn't go out there with that dude anyway. That dude would just, and I'd be dead, you know. But
Shout out to
I mean,
Matt Riddle,
you
man.
gotta. I mean, you gotta be very. You have to be something to be able to go out there barefooted with 20 pairs of boots out there around you in that little ring. I mean,
Well, luckily he doesn't have corn on his feet. You know, can you imagine someone stepping on that?
That would be so bad, by the way.
It's like try to play that off where the crowd don't see you. Oh, my
Just
corn!
wearing shoes is painful, dude, honestly. With one of those.
I'm hoping
Oh,
Randy
yeah.
Orton returns soon. I really am.
but I think some of the funniest things in wrestling, because I mean, we all know that wrestling, for the most part, it's all scripted. There is, I mean, of course, the slams you take, you're gonna feel the pain. It's not, it's not fake because you're gonna feel the pain, but that they know exactly. Especially now that they seem to have their microphones turned up, and you can actually hear them talking to each other while they're in the ring about what kind of move they're gonna do.
Yeah, it's obvious now.
It's very obvious now what they're going to do. So but I mean, it's still very. I mean, I'm sorry, you're on the freaking top rope, and you slam down. It's gonna sting a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Them slaps, them chops, where your chest is like red as freaking blood. You're getting cut open. I mean, that you can't really fake that. You know what I'm saying? But it's so funny to me whenever you see somebody like. What was that guy's name I just said?
Omos? Or
Yeah.
Matt?
Oh,
Yeah. Whenever you see him get beat by somebody half his size, I'm like, come on.
AJ.
Come on.
AJ, the little engine that could.
I'm like, come on. In real life, that would not even, I mean, has he even won a match?
I think Omos has won a couple of
not
matches.
recently. He has, but nothing like that isn't of importance. Like
I mean,
mostly just on like regular shows.
Oh, are y'all ready for him?
Oh, okay.
Mill Hustle's in the house.
I'm gonna bring him in. And by the way, if you hear this, Mills, it's unfiltered, so say as you please.
Say whatever you want, yeah. Oh,
Welcome in.
What the fuck?
Exactly. That was our reaction. What?
yeah.
Take it away, dude. Go for it.
CB Tech, what happened to your hair?
Got rid of it, man.
Oh, he's talking about
you.
that. I thought he was talking about CM Punk.
I like the short hair, by the way.
Yeah, I went 3.5 years with no haircut.
It's too fucking hot, dude. It's too hot to have hair, dude, honestly.
3.5. I let it grow for. I let it go from. I let it go for 3.5 years and never trimmed it. Never got it cut. It just grew out that way, and it was gone. I just snipped and shaved, and it was here it is. So yep, I love it. Feels a lot better.
Is Tony Khan stupid?
Sorry, guys, I have to turn my camera.
CV, I apologize, but you know how profane I can get.
Hey,
Go ahead. It's unfiltered.
How do you get rid of the golden goose and keep the young fucks, Hangnail Page, and those jabronis that don't make you no money? How do you do that? That's like being invited to Morton's Steakhouse and being like, no, I want McDonald's instead.
Yep.
Oh man, Tony's
I
Tony,
mean,
dude. I mean,
look,
you see his
look.
eyes.
This is the division. Like, most of the people that are happy that Punk is gone either have dealt with him directly or they have never worked into business. And I'd say more on the latter part where it's been people that are just fans that don't understand, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
no, for sure.
honestly, then again, none of us were there, but I feel like he was being messed with a lot.
Yeah, it really felt that way from even from my standpoint. Every time there's always like Punk is always into something, and it's like one of the younger guys or one of the talent backstage just has to have a bone to pick with him. And really, generally, just from the time that Phil has come back to pro wrestling and joined up with AEW, it just seems he was more interested in just putting over talent, but also like health wise too, right? Like really focusing on them not doing things that would cause permanent damage as they got older, so that way their bodies wouldn't break down on them so quickly. And it just seems like the young talent act like they know everything about the business, but they don't know shit. And then they cause this fucking bullshit. Tony can't control the company. He don't got nobody there that has any type of authority figure to even put this talent in their place to be like, you guys work here, you do what we say, you keep things cordial. No, you see Tony go up there and this fucking bullshit, sitting there. I swear people think he's a fucking alien because he just sits there. He has a mad look on his face when his talent fucks up, like when MJF did what he did, and he's sitting next to him at a press conference with a mad face. But it's like, dude, be a boss, man. Like fucking let your nuts hang and say something. Say
Nah, you
something.
know what? I want to go work for Tony Khan because that means I could do whatever I want, and it'll take a lot to get fired.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the guy should just change his name to Tiny Khan. Honestly, because his balls are so small. Like you could probably suck them through a straw. Not telling you to try it, but I'm just saying if they're even there. Microscope anyone? Look, like I have a lot of respect for Tony Khan for what he's done. He's thrown a ton of money at these guys, but come on, man. This would never ever fly in the WWE. If this was in the 80s in the territories, these guys would have got beat up and thrown out the back door.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, didn't AEW start out really strong? I mean, wasn't it supposed to be like gonna like overthrow WWE?
It did a
was
lot
looking
of
that
things. It did a lot of things to rival them.
Mhm.
A lot of things, but it was
And it did it
it's
the
like
right
a
way.
new toy. It's like a new toy, Unless you put a new dress on a Barbie doll, that same Barbie doll is going to get old.
Yeah.
And they have been pretty successful, other than the fact that Tony books like he's playing a video game. But dude, he needs a booker. He needs a real talent relations guy. Like, honestly, why isn't Christopher Daniels being brought up? He's one of the guys that's supposed to.
That's a good question.
This.
Yeah.
He's like he has the same title Jim Ross had when he was over in the WWE.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
And honestly, if JR was a little healthier and he was to take that role, I guarantee you this stuff would have ended a long time ago. I guarantee it, because Jim Ross, he's cool, but if you push him enough, he will raise his voice at you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And honestly, with the kids these days, you either got to scream at them or put your hands on them so they pay attention.
That or just, do what Vince does. Your punishment is I'm going to work you. Exactly what me and Mike were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
He'll fucking work you. You'll lose your matches. Today, you're going to go out and you're going to put on the Doink the Clown costume and go out there and whatever. Vince will fucking work you as punishment. And it seems to work because you don't see a lot of talent stepping out of line under his promotion. You see that with AEW.
Look at Shawn Michaels during the mid 90s. Like, he was super, super problematic.
Oh yeah.
And I think if he would have still been around during the Attitude Era, had Stone Cold still had the same success he had, he would have probably gave him the boot. It's like, you know what? I don't need you no more. Stone Cold has made me way more money than you have. The Rock has made me way more money than you have. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know, man. Tony needs to get his head out of his ass. Like he's got to do something very quick. And this is like the
if he
dumbest
does
time.
that, Kenny Omega has to move out the way first.
Yeah, but I mean, like we were saying earlier before you joined up in too, this is also like the worst time to do it in two reasons. One, you know, the pay-per-views in Chicago, and two, we had real losses happen in the past week that, you know, people are still not over it. They're not over Wyndham's passing. This is like the fucking wrong time to fire someone out their job.
Have you noticed around this time every year, like just crazy shit happens in the wrestling business? It's like always around this time or a few months before. Like I told Mike on our very interesting stream the other night.
Yeah, I saw
the difference between CM Punk, the Young Bucks, Jungle Boy, and all those guys, the all elote guys.
Elote.
Yeah, but they're all cornballs.
I gotta draw my camera.
Oh my god.
Elote means corn for those that
Yeah.
And CM Punk has been in the wrestling business and these other guys haven't.
Yeah.
Just because you know what I mean? Like if y'all I hope y'all understand the context.
Well, I understand the context. You know, it's been that for years. It's always been that way. You know, for those that came in, put in work, and then continue paving the road for young talent to come up. You don't step out of line because you think you know the business, that you can just act a certain fucking way, and you definitely don't use, you know, the live to put your point across. There was other ways that Jack Perry could have made his point across that he doesn't agree with Punk about, you know, using prop glass versus real glass, but you didn't have, you know. I don't know. I feel like that, you know, with the talent in AEW, they're running amok. They don't have a daddy. They need a daddy to fucking keep their asses in line. Simple. Otherwise, people are gonna keep getting hurt.
Can y'all go back a little bit and tell me what was it that caused CM Punk to have that meltdown last year at the press scrum? Like, what was the origin of that?
They kicked his dog.
Besides that promo. From Adam Page, like what was the origin of that?
So they were so the Elotes were basically talking, or they were literally going around locker rooms, just bringing up the whole shit between Phil and Colt Cabana. Mm-hmm. They were prying into personal shit between them, which they had nothing to fucking do with, you know. But because, you know, they like to take sides and shit, they like to stick their nose where they don't belong. So they started saying some shit. Punk said some shit back, addressed it a little bit in that press conference, and then word got back to the cornballs over there. So I guess how the story was broken out to everybody was that they busted into his locker room. Like, they didn't knock and say, hey, you know, Phil, can we talk to you for a minute? Or, you know, they weren't cordial about it. They busted in there with their little attitude. So Punk took it as a sign of threat, and apparently he threw the first punch, and it kicked off the brawl between them, with Kenny Omega supposedly saving his dog.
His friend, I can't remember his name right
Ace?
now. Ace got fired because of that, because he apparently put a chokehold on some of them.
He put it on Nick. I think he brawled with Nick. Matt brawled with Punk, and they say that Kenny was trying to save CM Punk's dog that was freaking out in the locker room. So he was trying to calm the dog down. That's also weird.
That he got bitten, which I don't blame Larry, the dog, because that's a lot of distress.
We love Larry, by the way.
It's like fighting around a child.
Yep.
You know, nah, man. Still, they went easy on them because, going back to my analogy, had this been in the 80s under Bill Watts, under the Von Erichs, under the old Vince McMahon, these guys would have got messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the sad thing about it, is that we don't have, so like a lot of people like have this idea, like, of course, like wrestling has to evolve, change, and come with the times. And yes, to certain degrees that is true, but a lot of the old traditional stuff needs to be in place, and because it's worked. And like we were saying earlier, you know, some people dislike WWE because it's more stories and less action than, like, you know, AEW or Impact or New Japan Pro. But when you kind of just strip all that shit away and you kind of look down to the nitty gritty, you know, you got top talent in AEW getting hurt. Obviously, they're not working safe. You got top talent in WWE rarely getting hurt. That's for a fucking reason. You know, call it how they want to see
these guys,
it.
When these guys go to the WWE, they don't adapt. That's why a lot of veterans get sent to NXT so they can adapt to the style because they're going to be working a lot more and it's not as stiff. Yeah. And the rings are usually harder.
Yeah.
You know, like I was telling Mike the other night, like that power bomb on an apron by anyone, especially, you know, that's a stupid move because that's the hardest part of the ring. I heard, and I've stepped on a few of them. I ain't been slammed on one, but I heard that that's even harder than the concrete floor.
Oh shit!
You know, that's career shortening.
Well, I mean, it makes absolute sense considering, you know, when Owen decided not to listen, and God rest his soul, but Owen decided not to listen about the tombstone and did it the wrong way and busted Austin's neck.
Yeah.
That's not forgiving. Like the mat itself is not forgiving. So you could just only imagine how severe that was when it happened.
Yeah. And, you know, I have taken a few training classes. I haven't completed, of course, because I would never pass the physical. But when you try to be a manager, you have to take bumps the same way.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Who are you going to manage? If you could, who would you manage?
Just some indie guys. That's it. Like friends of mine.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
But you got
Cassie Blue.
They have promo classes and everything. And that was a cake. That was cake. But nah, man, this is just ridiculous at this point. Like, he should have, you know, maybe sent CM Punk away for a while to get his head clear again because he's injury prone. Let's be honest, he's not a spring chicken. Though. But, you know, they tried creating Collision as the separate show. I mean, they were going to get Collision regardless, but that didn't help either. And then didn't he get? Wasn't there something going around that he got into it with Rusev?
I didn't hear nothing about that
now?
one.
Miro.
Miro. I mean, I don't. You know what? To be honest, like, I don't know. Do you really think that at this point? Because I don't know. There might be more that comes out as to why Phil was let go. But what would be your thoughts if Jack Perry stays? Like, he goes unscathed in this one.
Stupid. Who does, like, look, and I'm a big fan of his dad on 90210.
Luke Perry.
yeah, but come on, man.
I couldn't get into that show. My sister was into that, so it was always annoying. We'd fight over the TV.
I mean, it's just ridiculous, man, you know?
Yeah. I think there's when you have a fan base that can pretty much see like the chinks in the armor, you know, the hole, you know, in the wall. If it's that noticeable, then you're not doing it right. You know, Tony, like, all jokes aside, you know, I still say fuck Tony Khan, but all jokes aside, you know, he really needs to look at what does he want AEW to be and what does he want for the talent. If he's not looking out for the talent who's making him the money, and he's not looking out for the product that people have been wanting to kind of challenge WWE on that level, you know, if you can't protect your people, get the fuck out of the business. Sell it to somebody who's passionate and wants to do it right and wants this thing to be successful, but ultimately wants the talent to be healthy.
Look at what happened in 2002. After the invasion failed, the WWE invasion, whatever, ECW, and then the NWO got brought in. That was even more star power. It went around that, look, you guys are known to be shit disturbers, but there's going to be zero tolerance. That's one of the reasons that Scott Steiner got let go so quick. That's one of the reasons Goldberg only got a year contract. That's one of the reasons that Scott Hall was only there for about 2 months.
Oh, sad. I like Scott Hall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me too.
He was one of my faves back then, yeah.
Yeah, he was a good guy. I met him like 2 times, and I spoke to him on Twitter here and there. He's a good guy.
He liked to party.
Too much. You know why he got like that, right?
No.
why he got so bad on drugs and alcohol, because he killed a guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. He
Oh
killed
yeah,
somebody.
yeah.
But that was an accident though. I mean, it's not
But
like
it
it was
still
on purpose.
traumatized him.
It was self-defense, yeah, but I understand that, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, that
no,
makes
yeah,
sense
I
now.
remember watching the what is it, his documentary, the Razor's Edge or something. They talked about that, so yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, but it was,
But
you
yeah.
know, Scott Hall was good though.
Just what a fucking
enjoyed it.
interesting week in
I
wrestling,
mean,
guys.
look, like
Fucking interesting week.
it's like you have an employee, okay, and if this, I'm gonna use this analogy. If this is the reason he got fired, then that's fine. Imagine you work at a cell phone store, and you're the best salesperson in the region, but you go around smacking your coworkers, grabbing their asses, you know,
Yeah.
all that kind of shit. That's one story. I never heard CM Punk doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just, you know, I think Phil's heart was in the right place. This just wasn't the crowd that, you know, I mean, I commend him for trying. He tried, you know, he really
Yeah.
tried to get these young guys to be hip to the fact of, so that way they wouldn't be caught with their pants down, because we all know how the wrestling business goes. Guys will be like, I'm never going to WWE. And then 5 years from now, they're in WWE, you know, like,
See, if I was a pro wrestler full time, I would want to go there towards the end of my career if my accomplishments outside of the company were strong enough. Like AJ Styles,
Mm-hmm.
I would have
Mhm.
said, I'll come, but I only want to be part time. And they would have probably did it for him
yeah.
Yeah.
because that road schedule was brutal.
Well, I'm glad Styles didn't decide to go to AEW and that he decided to finish his run in WWE, because God knows how much drama he would have went through after going to that company, if you know what I mean.
Well,
Did
you
he-
got to also remember that of course, AEW wasn't even a thought. And I'm sure Tony Khan would have offered him more money, but less money, honestly. But a lot of his friends were in the WWE, and they were like, come here, come on. And then the rumors started spreading that him, Nakamura, and the other two bald guys, what are their names?
Oh, what's his name? Carl
See, it's not
Anderson and
important.
Luke
We don't
Gallows.
even-
Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, yeah.
Oh, there we go. We don't even remember. That's how unimportant they are. Anyway,
I was thinking of their
real
finishing
Bullet
move, the
Club.
Magic Killer. I was about to call them the Magic
Yeah.
Killers. I was like, wait, that's their finishing move, not their name.
The
Yeah.
OC. Let's just call them the OC, the original club.
honestly, they should have never went back. They should have tried to have gotten a deal with AEW. I know they had appeared a few times. While
Yeah,
trying
they
to
appeared a
get back,
couple times.
but they should have stayed
Yeah.
with there because they never have ever gotten used right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you think about it this way: they're a little bit older, and you know they want paychecks for their families. I know Anderson has a wife and kids. I don't know about Luke Gallows, but you know I think that for them the money was more important than the stardom, and sometimes it's not about being the top guy. And for them, I think that was the right decision for them.
You see, what's her name is going back, and I'm actually pretty happy. Carrie Sane. I hope I'm saying her name.
Oh
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
Kyrie Sane.
How are you saying?
That's
Yeah,
cool.
Which she
I
had
saw
left
that.
on good terms. Also, I think
Yeah.
I think she just was being homesick. Also, when she
Yeah.
left originally, and she just wanted to go back home. And
The
then-
women's division is so superior to
Yeah.
AEW's.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
so superior. The only women's division that can probably compete with them is Impact's.
yeah.
But then they're also all ex WWE girls.
Yeah,
Almost all of
Yeah.
them.
most of them, yeah. So they already know what's up. They know
I
how to
don't want
work,
her to-
unlike in AW.
I don't want, when Kyrie comes back to WWE, I don't want them to put her in a tag team with Asuka. Like, I really want her to kind of just stand out as a soloist for a while, kind of, really showcase what she can do. I mean, we didn't really get a lot of that. We've seen glimpses of it, but yeah,
You know
I would
what?
rather see her compete on singles for sure.
Honestly, I don't remember a single match of hers. I just think she's hot.
Bro,
That's why
She was a pretty explosive female wrestler, dude. I really like Kyrie, especially when she was in NXT. Not so much on the main roster because she did the
Yeah.
whole Kabuki Warrior thing with Asuka, and I don't recall. I don't think she ever won the women's championship in on the main roster, but she did the tag team's title stint, and then she just let her contract go, and that was it. Like they didn't really do much with her. I get it though. Like there's a language curve. Like I don't know why WWE just doesn't bring in like someone like Funaki to just do translation or to help them do the promos, right? Like I mean, they do it in AEW with like all the Spanish guys. So why doesn't WWE want to do that with?
I mean, for Kyrie, yeah, Asuka. I
Yeah.
don't think Asuka would need a translator. Like I
Yeah.
follow her YouTube channel, and
Yeah, they
her English
know a
is
little bit of
pretty straight.
English. She knows English, but it's like
used to be
most of her
subscribed
promos.
I used to be subscribed to Asuka's channel, but I can only watch someone eat noodles so much.
Now, she does different things now. Like her videos are just weird. Like I watch it like as if she's vlogging. I mean, I know what you mean, that she's eating noodles, like doing a mukbang or something like that, or she's going to get her hair recolored for a pay-per-view. Like you get to see what it looks like.
She needs to chill out on that hair coloring shit, man. She gonna go bald.
Yeah. But like the other stuff that she does, like I remember I watched one of her vlogs where she went and she was buying a vehicle, she was buying a car. And it's just cool to see like their day-to-day life, like what they do. So it's pretty cool. But her English is pretty damn good, So I don't think she would need one. Kyrie, that's a different story. But
another thing that I think would have helped these guys that I mentioned, all of the elotes, if they would have had someone like Dusty Rhodes training them. Hell, Dustin Rhodes is in AEW. What are guys like Dustin Rhodes, Sting, Christian Cage, who's another veteran, Jake Roberts, Arn Anderson?
They're not being
what
utilized.
What are they saying about this?
Probably nothing. They're probably just keeping their mouth shut and they're collecting their paycheck.
Yeah,
I would tell Chris Daniels, look, you're fired because you're obviously not doing your job. And I like Chris Daniels as a wrestler.
Yeah,
but,
like what do they have?
Job, I would split it among guys like Christian Cage, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, guys
like what is Arn Anderson doing there? Like him and guys like Dean Malenko, like what is their backstage role? What does TK have them on payroll for?
They're just agents. They're basically they help the talent put matches together.
Well, they need to fucking put them in some sort of managerial role or some sort of authoritative role. In general, even if it's just one guy, you know what I mean? Put the fucking blame on one guy, right? But hey, fucking if Arn Anderson was in charge backstage when it came to all this shit, do you think this stuff would be going on? Like, probably not.
You know who I would love Tony Khan to bring in, and I know Tony likes him, even though that he's constantly getting knocked by them. Jim Cornette.
He would get so much hate. I think TK would get so much hate.
That would help me clean out the locker room. Like, hey guys, I'm bringing Jim Cornette in. I know some of you don't like him, but he's coming in. If you don't like it, we'll grant you your releases.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
Then I wouldn't bring Jim Cornette in because I know he wouldn't come in anyways.
But if Jim was willing to do it, though, I think that would. Yeah.
The thing about Jim, though, and I've met Jim, he's a bit of a hothead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's been times where he's gotten into scuffles with people he's training, and some of them smacked him back. You know what I mean? Or some he just wouldn't dare try, but yeah. And then I know for a fact that he hates that hardcore wrestling stuff.
Oh yeah, he's been very
John Moxley.
I don't know.
What's that? CV Tech? You're kind of quiet there, bruh.
I think he nodded off for a second.
I think he fell asleep.
Oh no, I'm here.
Okay, I was like, he turned off his camera. So.
Yeah, I had to cut off the camera for a minute.
That's cool.
What say you about all this distress in the locker room? Honestly, this stuff is more entertaining than the actual product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Y'all take over for Zach. Keep it going.
Well, I know CV Tech hadn't been really following. He's never really watched AEW. We were talking about it before you came in.
Yeah, I never really followed AEW. I never watched a whole episode of AEW. I never watched under pay-per-views. Just never have. Intended to. I was going to, but I just never really did. I want to, even when it comes to WWE. I mean, the last thing I watched was SummerSlam. So I mean,
tonight, if I watch, I'm probably only going to watch the main event.
Oh, yeah.
Because honestly, no other match interests me.
Yeah, I was actually going to read out the cards because I know Tito or somebody had been asking. I think it was. It's only going to be 6 matches, by the way. I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's only a 6-match pay-per-view. So we got the undisputed tag champions street fight, KO and Sami Zayn versus the Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor. So this match I really haven't been paying attention to. United States Championship is on the line. Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory. I don't know why that match is happening. We have a steel cage match. Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratusfaction over here. Yes, Trish is still wrestling. Yes, she's still hotter than most of the girls on the roster today. LA Knight versus
Has she had a Botox shot today?
Who knows? I mean, I'm not looking at her face either way. So, LA Knight versus The Miz. And then we got WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel's actually from where I live, by the way, guys. She's from the RGV. So,
dude, she's fucking tall.
She's built. She's stacked, dude. Honestly, like from her arms and back, she's crazy. She's crazy in shape.
Is she still dating Braun Strowman?
I don't think they are because I don't see anything going on social media with them anymore. They were for a little bit. I don't think they're dating anymore.
How could you let that go? I wouldn't be able to let that go. I bet you when he gets on top of her, she's like,
right, right. 350 pounds of all man on there. And then we have the main event.
Did you say all ham?
Yeah, no, I said all man. And then the main event, which would be Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura, which that'll be an interesting match. You know, I'm just hoping. My pick is Nakamura for the main event. You know, just because.
Is that really it? I mean, is that really all the?
No Gunther, no Intercontinental title.
Yeah, me and Tito were talking about it. Yeah, so yeah,
that's kind of
they saved that match for Monday.
That's kind of a sad pay-per-view, if you ask me.
Oh, they're gonna have. He's wrestling Monday. He's defending the belt.
Yeah, he's gonna defend the belt on Monday, and I think the only reason why they did it was because of the record, because he's gonna pass the Honky Tonk Man's IC title reign of like I don't know how many days. It's like 400 or 500 days, something like that. So
they're screwing over my new Kurt Angle. They're gonna put his match on
at least for the pay-per-view. Yeah. Sorry.
I like new Kurt Angle. They shouldn't do that to him.
That sounds like it's going to be a sad pay-per-view, man. I mean, 6 matches, and honestly,
you know, I believe that due to the current event that happened today, that people are going to tune into AEW just to hear the crowd.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow it'll probably be even worse.
Yeah, I can see that.
How they're going to react if the Bucks come out. If Jack Perry comes out,
they're gonna all get booed, dude. Especially because the Bucks and the Bucks are supposed to have a match along with FTR and another group, but they're gonna get booed out of the building.
Booed. They're probably gonna get things thrown at them.
Yeah, maybe.
Jailhouse cocktails.
And it's funny because it's funny because AEW goes to Chicago like 10 times out of the fucking year. And now that crowd is not going to want to show up to the event. Like I could tell you this past Wednesday when they had Dynamite that half the arena was full. Why? Because no CM Punk was there, dude. If Punk was there, I guarantee that most of that arena would have been full.
Yeah, I mean, Phil is there, you know. I mean, if he left on good terms, it wouldn't have been on that. But the fact that they let him go, fired him.
I mean,
but we don't
hear
nothing about Jack Perry.
In wrestling, it's a little different because, you know, people leave on bad terms all the time. But if you're someone that, you know, moves the needle, after a while, they might bring you back. Like they could bring him back. Be like, look,
I wouldn't want him to go back to AEW. Why?
I don't think so.
Probably the money.
If I could talk to Phil, I would tell him if he gets offered, no, like don't do it.
I tell him I want double what you were paying me.
A $10 million contract,
and I want a separate arena from the Young Bucks.
And I want my own office.
We got to deal with now, like you know how those crazy love fans love to like create you know, buzz online. Now we're gonna hear people talking about Punk's gonna walk on WWE because I already can see it happening now. The same way like when Jay said he quit and he left through the crowd, deuces, ooses, and walked out, and then everyone was making AEW little banners with him on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, guys.
If Punk was to go back, and that'd be a miracle. But if he was to go back, I'm like, he could technically go back for that TV show that nobody used to watch.
Yeah, but he was getting paid by Fox at the time, so that's why he did it.
But WWE, you know, they barely acknowledged it, but you know, they said something. I think if he was to go back, Vince would protect him.
Yeah.
Vince would absolutely protect him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, although most of the guys, I don't think most of the guys he's worked with a long time before, I don't think they would be as problematic to him as the Cucamonga kids were.
Because they're not wrestling anymore. That's why guys like Triple H, he's in a creative role now. So, The Rock's not there anymore, obviously, so he doesn't have any drama there. Stuff like that. Most of the people.
The thing about them is that they, the WWE, you can work with someone you don't like, as long as you still have to protect yourself and them in the ring, because that's the ultimate form of being professional.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, and he would absolutely have to have a part-time schedule.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think CM Punk would go full-time.
Yeah, definitely not. No, not at his age.
Maybe like just to do promos every week.
Yeah.
I see that wrestling like probably once every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, give him the microphone is what I say. But I can see where you're going with that too. And like for a lot of people who feel like that Punk would never walk back on WWE, never say never, because Brett said the same thing.
Yep.
And we finally saw an end to that.
Brett's situation was way worse, by the way. This is a guy that punched out he punched out Vince McMahon and did not get arrested, okay?
Yeah, look at Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah.
He came back after saying no a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior got brought back.
Yep.
There's like a countless list of names that they keep coming back. The Steiners, who were banned for a while, they came back. Like literally banned.
They're in the Hall of Fame now. Yeah. Hall of Famers now. And what's his face? Rick Steiner's son, or not Rick Steiner, Rick Steiner's son is in NXT.
Yeah.
Right now. I forget his name. Braun Breaker, that's his name. Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
I like his stuff.
Yeah.
Because he wrestles like his dad and his uncle, but he sounds like Scott on the mic.
Throwing some Steiner math over here.
And also, you got to remember that these locker rooms in AEW, they don't have a guy like The Undertaker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to hold order. Right now, that guy is Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
The locker room.
Yeah, to a degree, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to believe now that the locker room veterans are guys like Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns, even the Usos, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, those guys are the veterans of that company now.
Imagine if The Undertaker was in AEW with this happening, and you're
that would have happened.
Where you'll probably kiss his knee. If we were to do a size comparison, imagine if he was pissed off at you for something like this. Would you stand there and let him, tell you off and potentially hit you, or would you run? I pick option 3. I would never do it to start with.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they had Undertaker had the locker room court. Well, I think one of my favorite stories is actually The Miz, where The Miz talked about where he was kicked out of the locker room. He couldn't change in there because of that one time he brought food in there and spilled chicken grease everywhere. Yeah, and then after being tired of changing in the public bathrooms and shit, then he talked to the Taker, and Taker brought him back to the locker room and said, "This guy's cool," and nobody said a damn thing about it. Like, that was it. He's back in the locker room. He can change there.
Something like that happened to the Hardy Boys as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That's crazy. Jeff is just one of those weird. I don't know. Sometimes if I ever met Jeff Hardy, I just sometimes want to knock him on his forehead and be like, "Dude, you had the talent, you had the gifts. Like, I'm sure he regrets a lot of the stuff that he's done that nearly damn near broke his career. But Jesus Christ, man! If he had just what's up?
Speaking of Jeff Hardy, by the way, now that you mention it, I was actually at the live event his last WWE live event before. Like, he got fired from WWE this last time around for having like the intoxication issues and everything like that. Yeah. So I'm like, man, I feel like I've gone through a lot. Like before the Dudleys officially retired, I was at one of their live events, and then like the following day on Monday Night Raw, they officially like retired. And of course, Bray Wyatt, I was at his last match. In San Antonio at the Rumble. So man, I feel like I've been a part of wrestling history.
Since you go to every single last event of these people, you can go to an AEW event with
Yeah.
the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. Hopefully it'll be their last match there.
I don't know if I want to give TK my money now. If I could be 100% honest, like, and
Nah,
plus they
he'll
don't
let you in for
that's-
free. He'll be like, Mike,
he's gonna
do
be
your
like-
thing.
He's gonna give me a press pass, and I'm gonna be at the media scrum
There
for
you go.
the Scorpion Deathlock podcast. Let's go. We'll be like, yeah,
Hey, why
he's gonna
not?
be like, hey, yeah, you're right. I could apply. You never know, but I don't ever see them coming for like a regular house show where I live, and the closest that they've been is San Antonio. And I wouldn't go. I wouldn't travel to San Antonio just for like a regular fucking Dynamite or something like that. It has to be like a pay-per-view.
But it's
Speaking of
always,
press pass,
it's this thing with CM Punk. It's always the mid carders that are giving
Yeah.
him problems. You don't hear main eventers,
Yeah.
giving him this kind of
Mhm.
smoke. It's always a mid carder.
Yeah.
I mean,
so speak.
John Moxley and him don't get along, but they never got into it like that because John Moxley's a pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing with
Rip-
Chris Jericho. You don't see anything happen with Chris
Exactly.
Jericho. Sorry, Tito, go ahead.
no. I was just trying to let you know, Mike. I sent out a message to that one person, Shining Polaris, to see if she'll join us one day on the Scorpion Deathlock podcast. So once I hear word back from her, I'll
Yeah.
let you know. We can set something up. You, Mills, me, and her. Because like I'd mentioned to her about it. I was like, I would love to have her come on the podcast with us. And she has her own channel and she talks about AEW, WWE, Impact,
Yeah.
and of course she's like getting
What's her
like
name?
Shining Polaris.
Shiny Polaris.
Yeah, Shining Polaris.
That's a
Shining
DDR
Polaris.
song, by the way.
Yeah. Like
Like
I've known her for a
KORK.
while when she was doing cosplay, but then like just recently because she was at WrestleMania and she happened to be right behind Roman Reigns when the camera panned to her and she had she was like right behind her. You could see her on the pay-per-view TV side, and I was like, "Hey, you're on TV." And then she posted a picture later on, and she was like, she was kind of crazy about that because Cody also saw like she makes these little yarn dolls of the wrestlers, and she made one for Cody Rhodes, and he actually went up to her and checked it out and everything. I think she gave it to him. But yeah, we'll see if we can get her on the podcast so we can all just kind of like clash with these things.
Oh, apparently the thing with CM Punk and Jungle Douche got recorded on video.
Yeah, I heard there
Really?
was something that I don't know. Well, I guess maybe we'll see it eventually. It'll come out, the video.
Somebody share it. Somebody out there
it.
share
We're
the
gonna see
video.
Someone
Leak
leaked
it
it
out.
Yeah.
Somebody leak it. Yeah, that would be nice.
It really would be. I would like to see exactly what it is. Like why Punk is the one that gets targeted to get fired.
He's
And
the
not,
martyr. He's the martyr in all of this. That's the shitty part about that.
Yeah, but no, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I really don't think that he needs to be there anymore. To be quite honest, the fact that his body's kind of telling him signs like, "Hey, dude, like, don't push yourself. You can't go the way you used to before with all the injuries that he was getting." And then just
I was
heat.
freaking out when he was trying to get Samoa Joe on his freaking shoulders, dude. Like, when you watch those matches leading up to this last pay-per-view, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, Samoa Joe's a freaking 300+ pounder guy, or at least close to 300 pounds, and Punk is not as big as he used to be when he was in WWE.
No.
He's lost a lot of weight compared to his WWE days, and it's like, bro, you don't need to pick guys like Joe up anymore. Like, you're gonna freaking throw out your back, or he's gonna hurt himself even worse than end up getting what do you call it, a what do you call him? He's gonna pull
herniated disc,
a herniated disc or something in his back, something like that. So I'm just like, man, dude, like I don't need to see you doing that. Just like I don't need to see Sting jumping off fucking top ropes onto tables and shit like that. Like I don't need to see that. I don't know why Sting is doing that anymore.
Yeah, let's ask him
Like,
that question. Let's call him up on the podcast.
call
Like,
him, yeah.
Steve, what are you doing? Like, dude, you fucking collapsed in the WWE ring because you got thrown in a buckle bomb incorrectly.
Yeah.
You got
And here he
scared
is
because you
fucking
openly
jumping.
admitted you were scared that
Yeah.
that shit was really bad, and then you're gonna go pull this shit in AEW. Like, what the fuck, dude? Sting is my dude, but he's gotta stop.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
What is you remember Bret Hart was shitting and pissing on Seth Rollins for a while after he did that, broke John Cena's nose, separated Finn Balor's shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who do you think John Cena? Who do you think Cena's gonna get confronted by tonight? Because I know he's not gonna be there just talking. Somebody's gonna try to, interact with him.
That's a good question,
love
because
that.
I think the feud that they want to go with him, who was it?
Jimmy Uso.
Yeah, I think it might be Jimmy Uso, but I don't know why. Just out of randomness, it might be Dominic Mysterio. Also, just so that they can get some crowd reaction going.
You know who I
Oh,
think is going to
God.
confront him tonight? You don't like
Who?
Dominic Mysterio, CB?
I love Dominic Mysterio.
I like him as a heel. He's
I
great
love
as a
him.
heel.
He doesn't get the credit he deserves, and he's so young. Also, guys, he's still in his he's not even 25 years old yet. I don't think.
There's just some people gets on your nerves, and he's one of them for
Yeah.
me. I don't know.
But then he's
I think-
doing his job, CV.
Yeah,
he's doing his job, man. That's
Pissing
his
you off.
job right now.
Yeah,
To piss you off.
yeah.
He doesn't even have to open his mouth. Like, people are just booing his ass, and even if it's fake crowd boos that WWE's pumping in, like, it's still fun to watch.
I think that's a good candidate. You know who I think will confront him? Gunther.
Maybe, but I see that kind of killing the feud with him and Chad Gable. But that is the one title that John Cena has never won. And considering
That's
John Cena is
right.
going to be there the next couple of John Cena, I think, is going to be there for like the next 4 or 5 weeks. That could be if Gunther retains at after Monday, then that could be a feud that we might see.
They're
But
gonna
again,
screw my new Kurt Angle.
the
Really?
thing is, Gunther is on Raw, guys, and Cena's only going to be appearing on SmackDown, so that's why I don't really think that's going to happen. Oh yeah,
That'd be interesting to see.
Gunther.
Gunther. That dude,
I
man.
stepped
Oh
on
my
some
God.
Gunther.
When I see him, I only think of Rocky 4.
Yeah, he does look like the villain a little bit.
I break you.
He is from that side of the world, so.
I must break you.
Oh god.
Holy shit, man. But no, it's been interesting seeing him as the IC champ. I don't know. Just the way things have gone lately, it's like, okay, let's stop having people stay champion for a long time. I think we set some new records. It's time to start, kind of like getting some good story feuds going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we don't have
Especially
Bray,
with-
we're not going to have anyone scare the shit out of us anymore. With
Especially
unless-
what Roman's had it over 1,000 some days now.
3,000.
years, exactly. Yeah. No, it's
I mean,
1,000 plus. It's like he's like on like
That's
I don't know. Honestly,
ridiculous.
3,000, 3 years.
yeah, it's 3 years, not
Hey,
3,000.
back
I mean-
in the day, that was a
That'd be
normal
cool.
thing.
That was common.
That-
Yeah.
That was a normal thing
I mean-
back in the day. There was people that had it 8 years at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, RJ.
I was saying, wow.
Oh, no, I mean,
to kind of hog a title for that long,
but yeah, they used to hold it that long. I mean, back in the day, from when I remember, they were
I
just
forgot
starting to
more
speed things up.
I forget a lot, so I don't remember.
I just wonder what Taylor's gonna do. Like, I mean, I know people probably think this is a cliche idea, but I'm just hoping that Taylor does something with the Uncle Howdy thing. They let him do it to continue on for his brother, for him. Because like now I'm seeing just a lot of posts talking about this is what they planned with Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy and all that. I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, the writing was on the wall. Of course, they were going to bring Alexa back into it, but she got pregnant, and of course, she's got to do her thing. But like, I don't know. I don't see anybody else doing that.
I don't see it
role anymore.
happening, and I don't see Uncle Howdy returning. Because I feel like he was just kind of like a mirror. He was kind of like a polar opposite of what Bray was. Kind of like the Fiend a little bit. He was another alter ego that we never really got to see his face. And I just don't think that they're gonna bring him out, as that guy. That's just my personal opinion, though. But I mean, it does suck to see like a character like that go, especially because he was one of those guys that you just paid attention to when he was on the mic or cutting promos or, even wrestling, right? But
You know what I think? I think at the Royal Rumble next year, as a tribute, they'll have Uncle Howard in the match.
maybe.
That would be cool.
That'd be
I
cool.
I would pop for that, definitely. That'd be cool to see him come out, especially when he was terrifying people. Like just the shit that he was doing was pretty cool. And then it was also cool to know, because we know who Uncle Howdy is. I mean, the other people were still trying to guess it was so and so. Like, no, it was Taylor. It's his brother. I mean, come on, you can only tell. I think the earrings was a dead fucking giveaway. If they didn't want no one to know that it was Bo Dallas, they should have told him to take the earrings off, because moment the camera panned to him and you saw those earrings, like, oh, that's him. But yeah, I don't know. I just wish there would be somebody that comes up that can have that chill factor, you know? That's something that I really liked about WWE was they always had that one guy that can change the atmosphere in the room.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, now that Taker's retired and Bray's gone, I mean, it's going to take somebody interesting to kind of fill that role. But it's like at this point, do we need any type of like mystical character out there that's going to captivate us? Right? I think it'll be a long while before we see anything like that. The closest thing currently would probably be Finn Balor as his demon character.
But that's not scary.
That's not really scary. It's just him like, maxing out, like, I guess in a video game and you're like powering up, that's him powered up. Like that's him Super Saiyan or whatever you want to call it, I guess.
Super Saiyan Balor.
Imagine if Finn Balor was 6'4" or 6'5" with that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He's so small that it's like not even intimidating. Not to knock on him because I love Finn and I love his wrestling style and everything like that. So.
Oh yeah. Finn is one of those that's very entertaining. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like that they really got to go with some new originality, something new and fresh. Because you can see, for those who's been following it for years, you can see when they regurgitate stories, they may have switched a little bit of pieces here and there, but you can almost call the stories of what's going to happen because it's something that 5 years ago a superstar used as a storyline. Like it's almost like they use like a skeleton and just build around it with different characters. Like they got to stop doing that.
Crazy fucking week, guys. Is all I'm gonna say. A crazy couple of weeks actually in wrestling. Like I did not think I would, and I'm sorry. Sorry that I interrupted the stream like that. By the way,
no, it's good.
I just got the screenshot, and I was looking down on my phone, and I was like, "This cannot be fucking real." So I have to tell Tito right now. I didn't want to hold it in.
It's a good thing you did it. It's a good thing you did it at that time too. Yeah. That was perfect timing because about I'd say 9 minutes, I do got to jump off.
Yeah, I know you got to pick up your kiddo, but I feel like it ruined the tech talk a little bit. Sorry.
No, it wasn't tech talk. It was just let's talk.
It was just general talk.
Anything. Yeah, we could have talked about retro games. The only thing that I stay away from that can get. I mean, two things I'll stay away from on this channel that I will not talk about because obviously you will get shadow banned. Politics and porn.
Yeah.
No showing bad stuff, and then of course politics because I don't need people to start their own fucking brawl behind the scenes, getting mad at each other. I hate that shit. I hate arguments over something as ridiculous as politics. Yeah. Everyone has their own point of view. Respect each other's point of view, and just believe what you want to believe. That's how I always look at things.
Only mine is right. You forgot that part.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why people shy away from me on Twitter a lot. So.
Well, Twitter has no rules anymore. You can't punish one side and not punish the other side.
See, the thing about Twitter that they still haven't fixed is you can't call nobody stupid because it'll send you the warning. You sure you want to send that?
Yeah, I got several of those warnings already, but yeah.
Like, have you seen when I cuss out the tech CEOs? I'm sure y'all have seen my tweets.
Yeah.
Like the one that yeah. Because they make me mad, legitimately.
Oh, I've seen your tweets. Sorry.
Like the one yesterday about a note that got deleted, and I said, "Tell Google CEO to go suck a D."
Too funny.
Am I following you on there? Because I don't really see your tweets.
I'm probably shadow banned.
No, I see him. He's still there.
Well, you gotta remember though, Mills has had several accounts because there's several accounts that he's dropped and then he's made new ones and come back.
Oh, that's true. Well, I follow the one it's Mill Hustles. I don't know, at Mill Hustles. So
yeah, that's what I follow right now too.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have it, RJ, I'll DM you the link.
All right, because I'm really I think when you sent me a link last night about joining, and when I pushed on it said it was ended.
Oh no! I mean, I'll send you his profile link if you don't have him.
No. I mean, I got something last night from Mill Hustles. It was like, join this conversation, and it was like
that too.
Like 2 minutes later, look, I clicked on it and it said this ended.
Oh, so you probably are following him if he was able to DM you that.
Yeah.
He's shadow banned. Then that's what it is. That's why you're not seeing it, unless you're actively like watching his tweets and you're going in there and interacting or liking his posts. If someone's shadow banned, you won't see them in your feed unless you're like consistently interacting with them, because then the algorithm just basically bars him from ever appearing in your feed.
Because I was wondering, because I've posted and I've retweeted certain things that people would be like, "Oh my goodness, this guy's," and I got on something to see if my channel was shadow banned, but mine was all green, mine was all good. So I was like, well, that ain't the reason why.
This YouTube channel has issues already. I already know that. Like I have my Pixel channel, and that's growing at a decent rate, and the views is at a decent. So I know that for some of the shit that I said on my podcast on this channel has gotten it to where the algorithm does not like this channel. That's why I don't care what happens on it.
Well, see, I was getting tired of the low views on my, on everything that I was posting, and I spoke to someone at YouTube, Google, whoever, and they said that that YouTube does not shadow ban channels.
That's a
and
lie.
I was like, I was like, that's a load of crap, I mean, I was like, nah.
Like, if you are someone that has like, I'm not that controversial. There's people that are way worse than me. And it's like, I just say,
I don't know about that.
If you're gonna, what's that?
I don't know about that, but go ahead and continue. Sorry.
Right. I mean, you got to be a member of the Ku Klux Klan to be more controversial than me.
Oh, okay.
But,
yeah, okay, you got a point there.
I mean, I'm not controversial on my channel on YouTube. I do my thing on here, and I don't really get into anything. Twitter, on the other hand, I think that's kind of why I'm really kind of knocked out of the loop in the tech space a lot of times on YouTube. Is because of my stance on things and the way I say things and put things out there. I was like I said, if I'd rather stand alone and to tell the truth than just fit in with the crowd and just believe a bunch of bull crap. You know what I'm saying?
They should just call it Twix.
Yeah,
honestly, because we don't know if it's Twitter or if it's X. Just call it Twix.
So I mean, I don't really get a lot of attention on Twitter. Like I said, that's fine. That's fine. I don't really care. But I am a whole lot more controversial over there because we know that everybody likes to fit in and go with the flow, go with the crowd. I mean, like I said, I'll stand alone before I, go against what I believe just to fit in. That's not going to happen.
No, but isn't that the way? Like it's something I laugh about today. I absolutely don't give a shit if anyone likes my social media accounts or does anything, interacts with them. I don't care. I'm not on social media for the adorance of everybody. I'm on there to speak my fucking mind or to read everybody else's shit. Because regardless if their stuff is stupid, it's funny. It's entertaining. It's like reading the comic strips in the newspaper on a fucking Sunday. You see people fucking go bananas over something, get pissed off. Gas prices is this much. And it's like, hey, well then don't drive your car or walk, fucker. Like, dude, this. That's what I'm on social media for. I can give a fuck, if people like my shit or don't. Like, I don't care anymore.
I'm the same way.
Beyond that point.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'm like, I'll lose 5 followers, but I'll gain back 3 or 4 more. People who like I said, I don't care. If
I don't worry about the numbers, just keep putting out videos, man. Don't worry about what the video views do. I mean, well, I know in a case for you, at some point there is a reasoning why the views do kind of like make a play in your book, but just don't stop. Like, continue that consistency, man. Like, just put the videos out, whether they suck, whether they're good, doesn't matter. Just put the videos out and stay consistent with that. Because regardless, if maybe you're not hitting over 1,000 views on the video, but you got diehard fans, RJ, that are like waiting for a video to drop from you. They're waiting for that. They understand. You take your time in making your videos. You do your editing. You record them, you do your voiceovers if you need to. Like, we know that you're behind the scenes building your video. So we don't expect you to just put them out like exactly like that. But we are looking for them. So just put them out there so we can watch something, because I need something to watch at night before I go to bed, dude.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot. I know you said we have to jump off here and everything. It's just really funny when it says, whenever I look at my, actual YouTube channel, and it says 2,000 notifications was sent because people has the bell pressed.
Yeah.
I'm like, and it says 100% completion of the 2,000 notifications, and I'm thinking, well, that ain't what the numbers show. It's just like saying,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, and I know that, I know people don't, people's got lives. When you get when somebody posts something, you can't just sit there and stop what you're doing and push a video. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
But a lot of people are subscribed to so many people that if you wait a few hours, it just gets buried or it gets.
Yep.
You forget about it. There's been times I've been scrolling back a little bit, and I'm thinking, "Oh crap! I was gonna watch that video, and I just totally forgot that I got notified for that like a day ago."
Yeah.
So that's kind of a bad, And then I also get recommended videos from 6 years ago on channels that I don't watch or even
Yep.
subscribe to,
It happens
and I'm
to me
like,
all
"What
the
the
time.
crap, man?"
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Yep. I
Yeah,
see magic
YouTube-
text
YouTube
videos
weird.
from like 5 years ago pop up all the time. I'm like, what
Dude,
the
your
hell?
videos from like freaking 7
Really?
years ago get recommended. Yeah, there was one
Really?
the other day in my recommended feed on YouTube. The very
Oh my
first
God.
video, and I should have screenshotted it to share it with you.
Oh man, you
The
should
very
show
first
me.
one was the Samsung Reverb.
Oh wow, that.
I'm
Oh,
just
wow.
I bet you
glad
the
that
thumbnail
YouTube
for that
put the
was
option
trash.
back to watch oldest videos because they had that down for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think it's there
If you
again.
have
Yeah.
someone, if you're someone that's like in danger of getting banned or you have been banned, like the only way you're going to get back on these social media sites is using a VPN.
Yeah.
Because once they ban your IP address, it's only a matter of time before they find out,
Catch it.
oh, we kicked you off and you're here again. Bye.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, gentlemen, I do got to get ready to head out of here. So we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. If you guys want to share your social medias for people to connect with you guys on, feel free to go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
We'll start
I'm
with-
at Twix. I'm at Twix at Tony Khan is stupid.
Yeah. Agreed.
Crazy.
Agreed.
He's at Mill Hustles on X, formerly known as Twitter, the Bluebird, or whatever the fuck they're gonna call it now.
I could never call it X. I've been calling Twitter for so long. It's just hard. Or I'll just say Twitter X or whatever. That's what I have at my description is Twitter X.
Could you imagine
Yeah.
if your mom walked in the room and said, "Hey, what website are you on, dear?" "Oh, I'm on X.com." "Oh my God, you're watching porn!"
She'll come inside with like the holy water and anything. En nombre de Padre, de Hijo, de Espíritu Santo. You get the blessings right there, the holy water throne. RJ, what's your share with everybody where they can find you?
You can just find me on Instagram and Twitter, X, whatever, at CV Tech Review. And of course on here at CV Tech. Simple.
Hey, I mean, if you ran into a channel that was named exactly like yours, but they had like 400,000 subscribers, so when people looked at you, they click on their channel by accident.
No, luckily.
I know that happened to CV Tech because there is another channel called CV Tech.
Right.
There's several. There is several CV Techs. But as far as I know, as soon as you put in CV Tech on YouTube and search, I'm the first one pops up.
I've seen you as the second one at times. There's like this
Oh, really?
channel called CV Tech where they do like home construction projects.
Oh wow.
Ah,
I wonder what the
Yeah.
CV stands for them.
And then Mike is at HEB_tech reviews.
Oh god. You can follow me on X at BT_reviews, Instagram BTech reviews, and YouTube BTech reviews.
So it's not HEB.
No, it's not HEB, sadly. Quit telling everyone
know what-
where I work. Stop.
You know what HEB stands for you?
What?
He eats Burger King tacos.
Oh.
Oh my God.
That's a good one. I like that's a new one. That's a good one. I like that one.
Definitely. We got to do this again, gentlemen. I'm going to actually send you guys invites again when I do this again, and we got to continue on this conversation.
Yeah,
looks
this
like
was
we go
nuts.
for
Today
it.
was crazy breaking news, so I'm glad that came up.
Yeah. But for everyone that watched the live stream, thank you guys for hanging out with us. And for those of you guys that left because you guys got bored, I'm glad I did my job and put you guys to sleep on a Saturday. That's my job to do that. But until next time, you will see us all again. There'll be feed me more. No. Do not do that. We're not feeding nobody more. It's not Ryback. I'm not the big guy. And man, have you guys seen his mukbangs before we go? Have you guys seen his mukbang videos? It's always recommended to me on YouTube.
No, I see him pop up on TikTok every now and then, but not mukbangs. No.
Like, the big guy's gonna try Taco Bell. Like,
I bet you can eat like 1,000 tacos probably.
I didn't know his meal sizes don't even look that impressive. So I'm just like, I mean, when he talks wrestling, okay, cool. Maybe we should try to get him to go on a podcast with us, see what it's like.
Sure, with our 22 subscribers, let's go.
Hey, that's 22 more than the other average Joe that's got one. So I'm happy that
that's true. 0. So you're not wrong there. Maybe
we just gotta do more.
We'll get some gifts. Yeah.
Maybe, you know what, Mike, if you can, because like obviously, you know, my Windows is free, you know, now that I'm no longer with Boost Infinite, I don't work for them anymore. But when you
wait, you were working for Boost Infinite?
Yeah.
Wow,
that's why I couldn't talk about them no more. Like,
okay. Did you make a video say, guys, I must tell y'all something?
No. Actually, I got a little bit of time before I got to go. But actually, what happened with that was, so they found out because on Facebook, I created the Boost Infinite group and I had to title it that it's not the official Boost Infinite because people were getting confused and were coming there asking for help. But I created that group. It started to grow, especially when I was doing a lot of videos talking about the cyber attack that they like to call the blip. It's not a blip. It was a cyber attack. And so I had said, one person had posted something. I had said that something big is coming. And then they caught wind of that. They brought me into a conference. We all talked. Then their HR liaison started going through all my social media and was like, oh, you got videos going way back on Boost Mobile. You need to take those down because you don't represent the company. And I'm like, wait a minute. I did these before you guys even had Boost. So what the hell's going on here? But in compliance, I just went and took all the videos down and marked them private. I didn't delete them. And then, I stopped mentioning Boost Infinite because they're like, don't say nothing about Boost Infinite. The most you can do is like their social media posts and reshare it. And that's it. Yeah. I'm like, okay. Well,
you know, I had a similar issue when I worked with TracFone. When they started offering hotspot, I'm at 1% battery, so I'm going to talk fast. I leaked it 2 weeks before it was supposed to come out, and then they went ahead and pushed it back a couple weeks. But someone at TracFone saw the tweet, and that somehow they found out that I worked for them when I don't even have my real name on my Twitter.
Oh shit!
Right.
And my manager said, "Oh no, you're good because you're not gonna get in trouble." But they just said, "Just be careful, posting shit like that."
I couldn't post anything.
I mean,
the reason I got away with it is because the form did not say confidential, do not share.
Hmm.
That's good.
You know why it didn't say that? Because I erased it.
Well, they're more lenient with you. Dish is very uptight about things. I'll say that. They're very
well. Before I go, and my phone dies, I want to give y'all some breaking news. I am working in wireless again. If y'all want to know anything else, send me a DM. Goodbye.
All right. Yeah, we'll message you right now. Charge your fucking phone.
Y'all will not believe the company I work for, and no, it's not Boost. But y'all are gonna. I think y'all will be pleasantly surprised.
It's Verizon.
Nah.
Okay. Well, we'll ask you in the group chat.
Yeah. Add CB.
Yeah, we'll add them in.
Yeah. Cool. All right, we'll get it to Twitter. Okay, we're gonna end it now. Thank you everybody for joining in, and I'll see you guys next time.
CM Punk. We'll see you guys.
Fuck the Bucks.
Fuck the Bucks. Yeah, fuck